across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: police criticised after death of Aylesbury woman. Lib Dems and UKIP launch election manifestos, and wins for MK Dons, Wickham and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. Susan James was found dead when police arrived at her Buckinghamshire home 6 hours after her initial call. More from Danny Bailey.
The 44-year-old woman was found dead at her home in Aylesbury by officers on the 13th of September 2014. She dialed 999 at midnight, but due to a shortage of staff, a lack of training and other incidents taking priority, a police unit did not attend her address until 5:40 the following morning. The Independent Police Complaints Commission investigated the incident and concluded that staffing and training of control room operators at Thames Valley Police was inadequate. The force says more staff have now been recruited and extra training will take place as a result.
The Liberal Democrats have said they will spend more on education than the other major parties. Their election manifesto will be published this morning, with Nick Clegg promising an extra £2.5 billion of schools funding by 2020. UKIP is also publishing its manifesto, as Chris Mason reports.
A few new policies in the UKIP manifesto beyond their big hits, if you like, of immigration in the European Union, cutting business rates for small businesses, a dedicated military hospital, and funding 6,000 additional jobs spread between the police service, the prison service and the border agency, those jobs for armed service veterans.
The Royal College of Nursing says the lack of qualified community nurses in the east of England is scandalous. A BBC investigation has found more than 900 full-time nurses have been lost across the region since 2010. A 24-year-old man who failed to receive a vital injection at birth at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital has won over £7 million damages from the NHS at the High Court. The man, who's not been named for legal reasons, was left disabled after the hospital failed to tell his mother of the importance of vitamin K. Trading Standards in Buckinghamshire are warning that a dozen unsafe cots are still in circulation despite the withdrawal of a product. Yesterday, the owner of furniture business Baumhaus was given a 3-month suspended sentence after a toddler became trapped. Louise Conant is the toddler's mum.
The video monitor that I purchased was the best piece of equipment I bought. It certainly saved her life. It was recommended by a friend. I asked a friend when I was expecting, what's the best thing you bought? And she recommended this video monitor, and it's proved to be invaluable to me.
In sport, Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for rivals Preston. Wickham remain on course for promotion after a stoppage time win over Exeter.
In comes Paul Hayes, right-footed. It's there! Wickham Wanderers 2, Exeter City 1. Paul Hayes has given Wickham the lead here, and surely the 3 points in the battle for promotion.
Stevenage looks set for a playoff place after a 1-0 win over Portsmouth, and Luton remain in playoff contention after a goalless draw at Dagenham, despite playing over half the game with 10 men. The weather: another warm and sunny day, maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
God, I had to go to the bed. I had to go to the bed. I knew exactly what I wanted. Catherine said, "Oh, I'll get it for you." And I said, "Will you?" She went, "Yes, I will. Stop panicking." She's not got it for me. And now she's doing the shruggy shoulder. I could crush a grape. What else did he say? Oh, I could wrestle an action man. I could jump over a doll's house. Didn't he do one about wearing a jumper as well? Oh, I could take my jumper off. Didn't he say that?
No.
What did Stu Francis say?
I fancy him a bit, I think.
I think he would have been wasting your time.
Oh, really?
I once went to see Cracker Jack being filmed. Here we go, hang on a minute.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And we're not in any way celebrating bullying. Weird places you've been bullied or beaten up. 08459 455 555. Because I was bullied and beaten up in the audience of Cracker Jack. I was watching Cracker Jack. Thank you for everyone who played at home. And it was a really special experience because there was actually footage of me, and I had that footage on VHS tape about 5 years ago, and then I lost it.
Oh.
Anyway.
So there's no evidence of this?
There is very little evidence of this, that's correct. But I was in the front row, and yeah, that's right. Keith Harris and Cuddles the Monkey sat 1 seat away from me. That's right. Anyway, the hard kids behind me, they kept whispering abuse at me.
You can't be hard at Cracker Jack.
They were very, very hard. I mean, they were like big kids. I think they were like 11.
Wow.
And the hard kids behind me were whispering obscenities, the likes of which I'd never heard as a 9-year-old, in my ear. And then one of them...
What?
No, one of them punched my ear really hard.
Wow.
Punched my ear really hard. I had tears stinging my eyes. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to turn around, but I had tears stinging my eyes. I don't know why. Why would you punch... With someone who sat in front of you, why would you punch them in the ear?
I've only ever read about people having their ears boxed in like Dickens.
It really hurts. It goes hot. OK, so it was very upsetting. That's the alkaline trio. That's not the Muppets.
Well, that's what you got.
I asked for
Otherwise, you've got the...
I asked for the Muppets.
I know, but it's with them.
Anyway, so places...
All right, well, OK, carry on and I'll
You found it, haven't you?
I found another one, but it's got the Muppets theme on it.
Hang on, let's have a listen to this. No. What is this?
Moving right along in such a good time.
No.
Better. I mean,
that's not the Muppets. That's not the Muppets. Kelly, could you find the Muppets?
I've got the other one.
Why did you not... We're 6.5. I've come up with some bullshine about getting... When you've been beaten up and bullied...
Well, that wasn't true.
Well, no, it's true, but I've had to really dig deep into my memory banks.
Well done.
08459 455 555. Inappropriate. I mean, all bullyings are inappropriate. Sometimes they're necessary just to get what you need from your team. Inappropriate, strange places you've been bullied or beaten up. And have you ever had your ears boxed? If you've ever had your ear in a box, then boy oh boy, this isn't that. This is the Cincinnati Pops.
It turns into that.
No, it doesn't. It's not the Muppets.
Well, that's what we got.
Kelly, could you find the Muppets, please, and move in right along?
Okay.
I tell you what, we're gonna go with this one for the moment, but if we can find the original, we'll have it.
Moving right along in search of good times and good news with good friends you can't lose. This could become a habit. Opportunity knocks once, let's reach out and grab it. Yeah. Together we'll nab it. We'll hitchhike, bus, or yellow cabot. Cabot? Moving right along. Get loose and fancy free. Getting there is half the fun. Come share it with me. Moving right along. We'll learn to share the load. We don't need a map to keep the show on the road. Hey, that song is starting to sound better, Danny. Moving right along, we've found a life on the highway. And your way is my way. So trust my navigation. California, here we come, the pie in the skyland. Palm trees and warm sand. But sadly, we just left Rhode Island. We did what? Just forget it. Moving right along. Hey, where have you gone? Send someone to fetch us, we're in Saskatchewan. Moving right along. You take it, you know best. Hey, I've never seen the sun come up in the west. Moving right along, we're truly birds of a feather. We're in this together, and we know where we're going. Movie stars with flashy cars and life with the top down. We're storming the big town. Yeah, storm is right. Should it be snowing? No, I don't think so. Moving right along. Do I see signs of men? Welcome all the same postage, come back again. Moving right along. That's town. We're loose and fancy free. You're ready for the big time. Is it ready for me? Moving right along. Moving right along. Moving right along. Moving right along.
Woo! Police watchdogs have criticised Thames Valley Police for the time it took to respond to a call from a woman who was eventually found dead. Susan James dialed 999 but didn't speak. 6 hours later, officers went to her home in Aylesbury where it seems she'd taken her own life. It's a very sad story, isn't it, Catherine?
It's awful, and the IPCC are saying they're not looking for anyone to be reprimanded or fired over this, but they are saying that Thames Valley Police need to look at their call handling procedure. Now, here's what we know about what happened. This happened on the 13th of September 2014. At about midnight, a call came from Susan James's phone. Now, that call was picked up by a BT operator in Newport who didn't actually hear any speech, but described strange noises.
Yes.
This call lasted nearly 3 minutes, and the recording was forwarded to the Thames Valley Police Inquiry Centre in Kidlington so they could listen back to it. Now, the call taker listened to 30 seconds of the phone call, and from that graded it as urgent, but not as the highest grade, which is immediate. That would elicit a, police car being sent straight out.
Right.
Now, the decision was made on the basis of there having been no history of calls to emergency services from that address.
See, that I did when this was mentioned yesterday, I found this very surprising that they kind of look at your past history of emergency calls and that influences the grading. The call had been marked as urgent, so what happens then?
Well, the incident was then transferred to the Milton Keynes control room, where a police unit was found to attend Mrs James's home. At the same time, 3 attempts were made to call Mrs James back, but there was no answer. Now, there were no police units available to attend the incident until 12:20am, so that's 20 minutes after that phone call was taken, when the control operator dispatched 2 officers. Now, they would have arrived pretty soon afterwards, but the police unit was diverted to a sudden death incident, which was graded immediate at 12:29, so before the officers could get to Mrs James's home. Now, by 12:34, that incident had been with Thames Valley Police for 30 minutes. If officers had not already been dispatched, the call would have been automatically escalated to the control room sergeant, whose job it is to then find a unit to attend. But because officers had been dispatched and redeployed, it wasn't recognised in the system, so it wasn't escalated, and it should have happened manually. That didn't happen. Several more calls were made to Mrs James over the next few hours. No answer to any of those. It was 5:23 before 2 more officers were sent to the address in Aylesbury. They arrived at Mrs James's home at 5:40, where they saw that the lights were on in the house on both floors, but the curtains were drawn so they couldn't see inside. They noticed the front door was ajar. They could hear a dog barking. They had no response to the knock on the door or shouting for attention. 2 more officers radioed to say they would be attending. All 4 officers entered the address at 5:51 in the morning, and it was at this point that the officers found that Mrs James was dead. In total, it took Thames Valley Police 5 hours 44 minutes from receiving the 999 call to actually entering the property.
And what conclusions did the IPCC investigation come to?
Well, their report includes this conclusion, that the grading of the call as urgent was in line with Thames Valley Police grading policy, and if the call taker was able to play back more than 30 seconds of the 999 call, they may have made a different decision and been in a better position to grade it. The recommendations made include extending the length of playback for emergency calls and more comprehensive control room staff training.
Thames Valley Police, what have they had to say?
Chief Inspector Jim Templar, who is Deputy Head of Thames Valley Police's Control Room and Inquiries Department, has said, "We're currently in the process of providing extra training to call takers, control room operators and supervisors on managing risk, and clearer guidance has been produced. We've already taken on board the issues raised in the report in relation to staffing levels last year, and we've recruited further members of staff to fill these roles. We're also looking at introducing improved IT to help resolve some of the challenges faced by our staff at the time of that incident. The incident had a tragic outcome, and our thoughts remain with the family of Susan James."
And I believe that we've spoken to some of Susan's colleagues, haven't we?
Yeah, she used to work at the Chilterns MS Centre, and they told us that Susan was a well-liked and hard-working person who loved working at the centre. Her death came as a complete surprise and a terrible shock. They say they miss her at the centre and find the tragedy of her death hard to comprehend.
Oh dear, isn't that very sad? 08459 455 555. Coming up in about 15-20 minutes, we're going to blow Justin Dealey's mind. Justin Dealey, whose mind is blown by the fly away Peter, fly away Paul trick. If you're of a certain age, you'll know what that is. I had some people yesterday saying, "Oh, I don't know what that is. Can you post a YouTube video of it?" Well, yeah. There's a thing in the Daily... well, I'm not going to say where it is, because he'll go and prep.
Don't say.
I'm not going to say anything, but
there is a thing.
In 20 minutes, if you want to hear a grown man, probably, I was going to say have a breakdown, but no, probably just get a little bit surly on the radio.
And defensive.
Yeah, then stay tuned to BBC Three Counties Radio, the home of bullying.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's looking pretty quiet so far this morning. In Beaconsfield, Amersham Road has roadworks at the junction for Ledborough Lane, so expect that to be quite slow later on when it starts to get busier. And in Aylesbury on Buckingham Road, there's water mains works going on at Dunsham Lane, so that could get busy too later on. Having a look at the motorways, and it's all moving fine and looking quite quiet on the M1 and the M25 so far this morning. And on the train departure boards, the 6:23 service from Luton to Brighton is reported to be delayed. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, big up yourself, Sammy. You deserve it, mate. 6:15, it's Wednesday, the 15th of April. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. And in football, there were wins last night for MK Dons, Wickham and Stevenage. Only a draw for Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
As the general election gets closer, we want to know what you really think.
Sometimes it gets a bit boring, I think.
But we kind of feel like nothing changes.
Parliament really needs a good shake-up.
We're holding a number of debates across Beds, Herts and Bucks, focusing on the biggest issues.
The national health, I think that's a big concern at the moment.
Immigration, probably.
I think education more than anything.
If you'd like to take part and have your say, you can register your interest right now. Email 3cr@bbc.co.uk or call 08459 455 555.
I always do the vote because I think it's my right to vote.
Election 2015 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Day for a drive. It's beautiful country out here. A frog and a bear seeing America. Moving right along in search of good times.
This is what you should have found. This is what I asked for.
Yeah, it wasn't in our system, so I said to Kelly maybe she'd look on YouTube. So it took her a bit less time.
Well, she
I've
did
done the
it.
research, but you know, if you want to give her the glory, that's fine.
Well, no, she did.
No, it's fine.
Thank you, Kelly. Well done, mate. Oh, that's sweet. Yes, that's sweet.
It's fine.
Is she stoned or something? What's going on there? What's going on there?
No, I'm fine.
Huh?
Hmm?
Am I fine? Is everything
fine?
Okie dokie. There we go.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers and me.
Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that and someone believed it. Oh, look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers and me.
too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da dum, da 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 dum, dee da
So it's nice, isn't it? It's a whole album of. That's nice, isn't it?
Bit harp.
Stay sharp to the bottom of the glass. There's a whole album of Muppets. They're called Nickelback. Do you like that one? That wasn't, sorry. Did you like that one, Kels? It's a music joke. There's a whole album of Muppets. They're called Nickelback. It's actually quite funny. You can laugh now. I hate Nickelback. They're one of the worst.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst bands in the world. You get them. Let's get the lyrics. What's their song? Photograph. Is that one?
Them and Razorlight.
Oh, Razorlight. Do you know what? I got sucked into Razorlight and I bought the album. They're back together again, Razorlight. They're playing here, aren't they, Razorlight? Wasn't that discussed in a meeting yesterday?
No, yeah, it was wrong. It's not Razorlight. It's Scouting for Girls.
Scouting for Girls! Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just get the lyrics to the Photograph by Nickelback. What's his name? Trent Reznor? No. What? Anyway, look at this photograph. Hang on a second. Here we go. Let's just hang on a second. Let's deliver this in the style it deserves. Photograph. That was the chair. Look at this. This is a rock song by Nickelback. This is one of the big hits, right? It's like it's written by a 12-year-old. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it, makes me laugh. Already?
Wow.
It's fifth. It's not even sixth form poetry. It's fifth form
That's
poetry.
almost Desiree, isn't it?
How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? One can only imagine what's happening in that photograph. I suspect they may have taken drugs or drunk quite a lot of fizzy pop. And this is where I grew up. I think the present owner fixed it up. You can't rhyme up and up. I never knew we'd ever went without. The second floor is hard for sneaking out.
Oh.
So he's rhymed up with up and out with out.
Out. Clever.
And this is where I went to school. Most of the time, better things to do.
Oh, that doesn't even rhyme.
Neither does the next one. He's broken.
Played the fool.
He's
surely.
run out of rhymes already.
Right, okay.
Criminal record says I've broken twice. I must have done it half a dozen times.
No.
I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. And we get to, I believe this is the chorus, maybe it's the middle. I just don't know. Every memory of looking out the back door, I had the photo album spread out on my bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door, I found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the magic of Nickelback, one of the worst bands ever in the world. We'll have more from Nickelback later on in the show. We'll do the lyrics to Rockstar.
Rockstar, yeah.
Now, we're celebrating the magic of Nickelback, one of the worst bands in the world. Now, let's do a story. It seems the grand plan for the future of healthcare, regardless of who's running the show, I nearly said one of the parties, but then I'd have to say all of the parties. Why do they call them parties? Because, I mean, if that's a party, it's dull. There ain't no party like an S-Club party. Is that more of us are looked after at home. Trouble is, there may not be enough community nurses to make it happen. A BBC East investigation has uncovered, now these figures are correct, are they?
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. A 72% reduction in the number of district nurses, which means people are being kept in hospital because there's no way to monitor them once they leave. Catherine Boyle, you've got more on this. Why is there a lack of nurses?
A variety of reasons, Ian. After the scandal at the Mid Staffordshire Hospitals Trust, trusts up and down the country began to increase the numbers of nurses in hospital following the recommendations of the Francis report. Now, some people say this has taken nurses out of the community to put them into hospitals. There are also a lot of clinical commissioning groups that are in debt, including some of our local ones. That means the amount they have at their command to fund community services are not being kept pace with the ageing population. Nikki Dewhurst is a district nurse from Hitchin. She works for the Hertfordshire Community NHS Trust. She's been a nurse for 23 years and told us she still enjoys her job, but it's become a lot more difficult.
On average, I see at present time about 17 to 25 patients a day. The caseloads are definitely bigger. We have much more complex patients who are nursed in the community, end-of-life care. It's increasing all the time.
Are there enough people wanting to go into nursing?
Well, no, that's the problem. There are just not the same numbers of people wanting to go into that profession. Now there's a heavy academic requirement to even get a place, and the training is different. It's less hands-on compared with how it used to be. A lot of the existing district nurses are now approaching retirement. So, for example, in Luton, 55% of district nurses are 55 or older, and because of the now increased workload, many nurses are choosing to leave the profession early.
If there aren't enough nurses coming into the profession, it says here, and many of those who are coming in end up working in hospital, is there really a future where people can be looked after at home?
The honest answer, it says here, is not clear.
OK.
There is a lack of training places for community nurses. The government doesn't fund specialist district nurse places because it's too expensive. People are now living longer, and those that are living longer are living with more complex conditions. So if there are not enough nurses to visit their home a couple of times a week, these people end up in hospital. According to Age Concern, the whole idea of elderly care and who should be providing it is changing. The biggest drop in nurses has been among the specialist district nurses who deal with the more complex cases and prescribe medication. Since 2010, the numbers have plummeted from 923 to 255. That's a reduction of 72%. So it's right to say that there are worrying times ahead for those being cared for at home by community nurses.
08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I've got to clear up a few things, a few errors that we just made, OK? Sorry, I've just had a message, a few errors we just made. It was Chad Kroeger in Nickelback, and both Scouting for Girls and Razorlight are playing at Amp Rocks.
Gosh, a double bill.
Razorlight. He went solo, didn't he? The wee fella from... He's 4'11", the wee fella from Razorlight. And Johnny...
Cash?
No, what was his name? The fella from Razorlight.
Kingdom.
Johnny... Huh?
Kingdom.
No, what was his name? Johnny...
Depp?
Oh, no.
On the spot.
Johnny Burrell?
That's it, Johnny Burrell.
Him.
They did one. I liked the America song, and on the strength of that, and the strength of me splitting up with a girlfriend of 8 years, I went and bought the album. Oh boy, what a waste! I went and bought a load of albums. I bought Franz Ferdinand and that, and some others. Franz Ferdinand, good. Razorlight, oh blimey, what a load of old guff that was. We'll be celebrating the magic of Nickelback and debagging Justin Dealey in about 5 minutes' time.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting to get busy on the North Circular Road between Arnos Grove and Bounds Green Road at New Southgate. And having a look at the speed sensors, the A41 is starting to look busy into Aylesbury. Elsewhere on the A421 Standing Way in Milton Keynes, there's roadworks around the Kingston roundabout, so expect delays there. But looking at the speed sensors, it's not looking too bad at the moment. And on the CCTV cameras, the motorways, the A1M and the M1 are looking like they're moving very well so far this morning. And on the train departure boards, there's no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today, and the Royal College of Nursing says the lack of qualified community nurses in the east of England is scandalous. A BBC East investigation has found more than 900 full-time nurses have been lost across the region since 2010.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A dramatic night of League football. Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place in League One after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for second place Preston. Lewis Baker, Will Grigg and Dele Alli scored second-half goals for Carl Robinson's side.
We knew we had to play to our best today to try and get anything out of the game. They play with a unique diamond that makes it difficult to play against. Some of the results here have been very positive recently, but I think they've played really well tonight.
In League Two, Wycombe remain on course for automatic promotion after a stoppage-time penalty from Paul Hayes gave them a 2-1 win over Exeter. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
What a nerve from the captain, and what a penalty. On chances, I think we deserved it. On possession, maybe not. They had a lot of possession. They got a lot of good crosses in there, some good players and some good football. And we played the three up front, the risky formation, as I've said we're going to do. We had the good chances, the better chances, and well, what a way to do it on a Tuesday night. Thank goodness that jinx is gone.
Stevenage looks set to claim a playoff place after an early goal from Tom Pett gave Graham Westley's side a 1-0 win over Portsmouth.
I thought our lads with the lead were dogged, were resilient, were determined. We scored the goal from a set play that won the game, and we managed to grind the 3 points out. So over the 90 minutes, I think that lads deserve credit for a lot of determination and a very positive attitude to the game.
And Luton are 3 points away from the playoff places with 3 games to play after a goalless draw at Dagenham. But John Still's side played over half the game with 10 men after Paul Benson was sent off.
I think he reacted too quick myself. I think he done it all too quick. I don't think that he took any time to do it. But he sent him off, nothing we can do about it. Honestly, I've given up on decisions this year. I really have. I think we've sent off 9 penalties to the referee secretary and 8 of them have come back as penalties. Now, that's too many.
Tonight, Watford go to Nottingham Forest in the Championship. There's full commentary in Three Counties Sport from 7. The Hornets are 4th after wins last night for fellow automatic promotion hopefuls Bournemouth, Norwich and Middlesbrough. And the West Indies will resume later on 155 for 4 on day 3 of the first test in Antigua. That's in reply to England's 399. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the stage Nickelback. I'm through with standing in line to clubs we'll never get in. It's like the bottom of the 9th and I'm never going to win. This life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. I want a brand new house on an episode of Cribs and a bathroom I can play baseball in and a king-size tub big enough for 10 plus me. I'll need a credit card that's got no limit and a big black jet with a bedroom in it. Going to join the Mile High Club at 37,000 feet. I want a new tour bus full of old guitars, my own star on Hollywood Boulevard. Somewhere between Cher and James Dean is fine for me. Because we all want to be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. We all stay skinny because we just won't eat. We'll hang out in the coolest bars, in the VIP with the movie stars. Every good gold digger's going to wind up there. Every Playboy bunny with her bleach blonde hair. And well, hey, I want to be a rock star. I want to be a rock star. Well, Scotland, not fans of Nickelback there, Justin.
Great. Really enjoyed that, yeah. Almost like something I wrote myself.
They are one of the worst bands in the world, aren't they?
But people can relate to them. Surely, listening to those lyrics, every single guy wants to be in that band.
And every single guy couldn't write those lyrics.
To me, it sounded like a hollow, empty existence.
Well, that bit's
fun
not...
for about 3 weeks. But... fill your boots.
Yeah, 3 weeks though. A cracking 3 weeks.
Dear me. Anyway, Justin.
Yes, boss.
Today we're going to... Today we're going to...
Let me blow your mind.
Today, Justin, would you...
Let me blow your mind.
I'm feeling slightly fragile this morning, as you know.
Well, there's a picture of you on the front page with your dad, Rod Stewart. Have you seen this, Kels? Picture on the front page of the Mirror, Justin Daly with his dad. It's a good picture. I'll tweet it in a minute.
Check that out later on.
Check it out later on. Now, Justin, we've dropped What's the Story this morning for this. Stinkers for big thinkers. There's... Sorry?
What's that noise?
That's Justin.
No, there's like a home.
That's Justin. Oh no, that's this rubbish studio. So it's just some brain teasers, Justin. I thought I'd ask you some simple questions.
Oh, please, come on.
Date with a cowboy.
Date with a cowboy?
Yeah.
Right.
Hang on a second. Justin, would you...
Let me blow your mind.
You have to accept the challenge.
Okay, I accept the challenge. Right,
So
hit me with
the question is...
Yeah.
Justin, would you...
Let me blow your mind.
Yes. You can blow my mind.
A cowboy... This is an easy one. We'll start off easy. You'll get this one, Catherine.
You reckon?
A cowboy rode into town on Thursday, stayed for 4 nights, and rode out on Thursday. How is this possible?
Let me blow your mind.
Can you repeat the question, please?
A cowboy rode into town on Thursday.
Yes.
Stayed for 4 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And rode out on Thursday. Now, how is this possible?
Let me blow your mind.
This is one of the easy ones.
Okay, would this be... I've got no idea. Honestly, I've got absolutely no idea. How would he have done that? If he stayed for 4 nights, well, 7 days... Well, Thursday, 7 days later. I don't get it.
Oh, this is the podcast. A cowboy rode into town on Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Well done. See, Kelly's got it, Justin, and you've not. Listen, a cowboy... Listen to the question. The answer's in the question. I'm telling you the answer.
Yep.
A cowboy rode into town on Thursday.
Yes.
He stayed for 4 nights.
So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Yes, okay.
And he rode out on Thursday. How is this possible?
Did he maybe stay in the field for 4 days?
Did he maybe stay in a field? I don't know what that means.
Well, I don't know what you mean. How is that possible?
Explain the did he stay in a field?
You are blowing my mind. If he arrived on Thursday, he stayed there for 4 nights, he's not going to be leaving the following Thursday, is he?
Listen to the question.
Yes.
I'm telling you the answer in the question.
Mm-hmm.
A cowboy.
Yes.
Rode into town.
Yep.
On Thursday.
Yes.
He stayed for 4 nights and rode out on Thursday.
No idea, boss.
How is this possible?
I've got no idea.
A cowboy rode into town on a horse called Thursday. He stayed for 4 nights and rode out on a horse called Thursday. How is this possible?
That's because the horse is called Thursday.
Hey! Justin Dealey!
Thank you.
I saw Kelly looking panicked that I was going to ask her.
Yep.
But then she got it.
They are tricky, though, to be fair. I mean,
that's the easy one.
That's a tricky question.
Okay. 2 men. Hang on a second, Justin. Would you?
Let me blow your mind.
Yes.
It's like a vampire. It can only come into the house if invited. Justin has to accept the challenge.
I accept challenge number 2. I don't really want to do this, but I accept challenge number 2.
This is great podcast fodder. And this is a lesson to all parents and young people out there. Study, work hard. It's a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation. 2 men are playing tennis together. After 3 full sets, both of them win. How is this possible?
Let me blow your mind.
2 men are playing tennis together.
Yeah.
After 3 full sets, both of them win. How is this possible?
Well, it's not possible.
Well,
there's got to be a winner.
You got it, Catherine?
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, have you got it?
I think so.
Okay. Justin.
Yeah. Clues, please.
Clues. 2 men are playing tennis together. They're playing tennis together.
Right, yes.
As with a lot of these, the answer is in the question.
Yeah.
2 men are playing tennis together.
Yeah, okay.
After 3 full sets, both of them win.
I think
How
I've
is
got
this
this
possible?
one. I think I have got this one.
Yes.
There is a message coming into my brain right now. Thank you, God. I think it's because they're in a doubles team.
So it turns out, Justin, you get it if I emphasise the answer.
You've got to admit, though, that they are tough if you haven't got the answers in front of you.
Okay. A man... Right, hang on a second. I need to check the... I have got the answers in front of me.
Exactly.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great one.
Come on.
This is a great one.
I accept, by the way.
Oh,
I
no,
accept
sorry,
anything.
Justin, can I... Would you let me... Hang on. Justin, would you...
Let me blow your mind.
Yes, boss.
And you're being a good sport for doing this.
Yeah.
This gunman loves One Direction.
Oh, right.
A man encountered a bear in a wasteland. There was nobody else there. Both were frightened and ran away. The man ran to the north, the bear to the west. Suddenly, the fellow stopped, aimed his gun to the south, and shot the bear. What colour was the bear?
Let me blow your mind.
Brown.
Sorry?
Brown.
What makes you say that?
Just something which has come into my head. It's a guess. I'll be honest with you, but I'm going to stick with my guess.
A man encountered a bear in a wasteland. There was nobody else there. Both were frightened. You would be frightened. Bear is frightened of the man. The man is frightened of the bear. The man ran to the north. The bear to the west. The fellow stopped, aimed his gun to the south, and shot the bear. What colour was the bear?
Let me blow your mind.
This, of course, is a beast-off. Two beasts going head-to-head here. I'm going to stick with my answer of brown.
OK. Kelly Betts.
Hi.
OK. Catherine Boyle.
White.
Now, why do you say white?
Because he was at a pole.
They were in the North Pole, Justin!
OK. It's like Christmas Day, this, with the relatives you don't like.
Oh, thanks a bunch.
Like Christmas Day.
Let me find. Hang on a second. Let me find another one.
There's more?
Oh, I've got loads of these. Mary's mum has 4 children. The first child is called April.
Yep.
The 2nd May, the 3rd June. What's the name of the 4th child? Mary's mum has 4 children. The first is called April, the 2nd May, the 3rd June. What is the name of the 4th child? Oh, sorry, Justin, can I?
Let me blow your mind.
Just a guess at this one. I preferred the first question, but I'm going to go with July.
Can we do this every day? Please, Catherine, please.
If you want.
Mary's mum has 4 children. The first is called April, the 2nd is called May, the 3rd is June, the 4th is called...
July.
Catherine.
I don't know.
Oh, guys!
They are tough. Come on, boss. Listen, you've got the answers in front of you.
Kelly's just buzzed in my ear that she knows
How
it.
about we play this game later on with my questions in front of me?
Your questions. Yeah, all right, mate. I'll take that.
Beef here.
Let me read it.
Hang on, do it again.
Catherine's getting it. I'm going to let Kelly answer it if she's got it right, though. This is the question. Mary's mum has 4 children. The first child is called April, the 2nd May, the 3rd June. Are you sticking with the answer that the 4th child, Justin, is called July?
Definitely, yep. It's the best I've got.
You've not got it, have you, Catherine?
No.
Kelly Betts, the name of the 4th child, please.
Mary.
Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Justin. Speak to you later.
Thank you, boss.
Ta-ta.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Yes, I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. I'm not a trace of doubt in my mind. Said I'm a believer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 towards London, Mike called to say that there's a lane blocked by an accident at junction 9 for Redbourne involving 2 cars. I can see on the speed sensors that the congestion's reaching back past junction 10 for Luton, almost to Dunstable Road. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's starting to look very busy between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. And in Mill Hill on the A1 Watford Way, that's looking slow southbound from the Apex corner towards Mill Hill Circus. In Stoke Mandeville between Aylesbury and Wendover, it's reported George called to say that there's some temporary traffic lights near Station Road there which could cause some delays. There's no reports of any problems at the moment on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. 6:46. Wednesday, the 15th of April. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. And in football, there were wins last night for MK Dons, Wickham and Stevenage, and a draw for Luton. Coming up, we'll speak a little bit more to Justin Dealey. Before that, let's get the weather. Here's Corsa.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Well, it's another dry day with plenty in the way of warm sunshine for all of us. Just a scattering of cloud perhaps later in the day towards parts of Beds. But temperatures could reach up to 24 Celsius today, 75 in Fahrenheit, a good 10 degrees higher than average. And as we head through the evening, cloud is expected to increase across Beds to Herts as well through the evening and overnight. But most areas should remain dry. Just a very slight risk of the odd isolated shower. Temperatures dipping to around 6 or 7 degrees tonight, 43 in Fahrenheit. And over tomorrow, much cooler and cloudier and fresher with an easterly breeze. There will be some bright spells, but temperatures only around 15 degrees compared to the 24 Celsius today. And that theme continues for the weekend. And that's your forecast.
Thank you very much.
After another top performance from the Hornets,
Vidra with the volley. What a strike! What a goal from Mattia Vidra!
the Premier League promotion push rolls on. And tonight they're back in action away to Nottingham Forest.
He's got it back towards Guardiola. It's 2-0. A vital goal for the Hornets. They double their lead.
Knowing a win will put them on top of the Championship.
So 4 more games to go and we have to enjoy every moment of this and try to do our best.
Watford away to Nottingham Forest tonight from 7 here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now we come to Justin.
Yeah.
Well, okay, there's a couple of things we can talk about. First of all, Percy Sledge passed away.
Full-on tribute coming up later on. I met Percy about, 3 years ago.
Wow.
I have to say, boss, it was one of the highlights of my career. I've gone to this hotel in London and I've arranged to meet 3 separate guests. So, first of all, the Fifth Dimension come out.
Hey.
Then, Lamont Dozier comes down.
Hey, one of the greatest songwriters of all time.
He comes down in a velour tracksuit, sits opposite me and talks about some of the greatest songs ever. I then finish with Lamont. Lamont then walks out and in walks Percy Sledge.
Wow.
And it was incredible. He sat opposite me. He told me some incredible stories. He even sung for me as well.
Hey.
He gave away the rights to When a Man Loves a Woman. Can you believe that? Not to me, to 2 of his friends.
Isn't it great when I've done a few interviews with pop stars when they start singing to you?
I know.
I think you're a big fan. I've had Glenn Campbell sing "Guess I'm Dumb to Me," and then I interviewed Brian Wilson, and I was a 15-year-old girl when I was interviewing Brian Wilson, and he said, "What's your favourite Beach Boys song?" And I said, "Oh, Sail On." No, I said Marcella, really obscure song. He started singing it to me. He sat there singing my favourite Beach Boys song to me.
I mean, these people, I've always said that the bigger somebody is in terms of being a star, particularly the American stars, they're quite happy to do that for you. People like Brian Wilson, Percy Sledge, I mean, that sort of stuff is amazing.
Ignore the PR people.
Yeah.
Don't ask them this time. The pop stars don't give us stuff.
Yeah, let them do it.
So we've got a Percy Sledge tribute coming on.
Yeah.
A little bit later on. Now, there's a story about Madonna in the papers.
Madge again, yes.
Well, if you know she snogged that young fella and he pretended to be sick. Well, what have they done in The Sun, Catherine? What science experiment have they conducted?
Well, they've dressed up a woman like Madonna.
She's Britain's premier Madonna lookalike. She looks a little bit like... oh, no, I won't be too rude. But imagine someone sipping on a special brew by Skip. That's kind of the look she's got.
I can go and find that person this morning for you if you want.
What have they done? She's a Madonna impersonator.
Apparently.
She's got a gap in her teeth and blonde hair, basically.
They've taken her out on the street and black eyebrows. They've taken her out on the streets and they've made her kiss random blokes.
She's got now listen, right? You're a 20-odd-year-old bloke and a 49-year-old slightly tarty woman comes up and says, "You fancy a snog?" You'll go, "Yeah, go on then."
Well, although students, Sam Walters, 19, fled and gasped, "I was embarrassed, Madonna's too old for me, although I'm her usual age range." But Neftali Carrera loved it. Job seeker Neftali, 35, said after snogging Lisa left, "I'd be excited if the real Madonna wanted to kiss me, although this one was very nice too."
Oh, see, that's romantic.
Polite.
Now, the thing is, Justin, I had an argument. I'll bring you into this. I had an argument with Catherine yesterday.
Yeah.
I like the new Madonna song.
Well, I think every single track that she's done, I think you can't really knock it.
Well, you
she's
can,
moved
mate.
on.
Some of them are rubbish.
Her version of American Pie.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was her own version. It was her own spin.
Well,
it was like Robo-Pie, wasn't it?
So where are we going with this? I'll tell you why, because in the back of my car, and I was reminded of this last week, because when I put the boot down on my car, I've still got my Madonna blonde wig, and it was poking out. So would you like me to take the wig onto the streets this morning, kiss a few random people and see what happens? Is that what you're asking for?
I couldn't ask you to go and kiss a few random blokes, Justin.
Okay.
You'd have to volunteer to do that.
Look, what are you after? Tell me what you want. And let's see what happens on the streets this morning.
I can't get you to do... I don't know what we're going to get you to do today, actually.
What's your favourite Madonna song? Call me now.
No, God, for goodness sakes.
Should we leave Madonna alone today?
Well, I was going to say, because the song's cute. I like the song.
Okay, the song's okay.
Do you like the song, Kelly?
Which one? She's got a few out at the moment. She's got one with that Drake guy who she's been smooching.
Yeah.
And then she's got one, I think, by herself.
Well, I like the one by herself.
I don't know how it goes.
It goes a little bit like this. Is this the one I like? Yeah, no, I like this one. Justin, we'll have a think about what we can do with you.
I'm going to be getting today the village perspective, all right?
I don't even know what that means.
Maybe it was all too much for a man to take. Everything's bound to break. Sooner or later, you're all that I can trust. Facing the darkest days, everyone ran away. We're gonna stay here, I know you're scared tonight. I'll never leave your side. We're gonna hold on. This world is turned to dust. All we've got left is love. Might as well start with us, singing a new song, something to build on. I know you're scared tonight. I'll never leave your side.
Justin! Justin? Where's he gone? Has he disappeared? Justin? Justin? Unbelievable. He's gone. Justin, take Percy Sledge to the streets, please. Thank you very much indeed. Catherine, what you got in the papers?
Poor old Sue Perkins.
Oh, you're separated at birth.
Yeah.
Your brother from another mother.
My sister from another mister.
Hey.
Great British Bake Off host Sue Perkins has received a barrage of death threats over reports she could replace Jeremy Clarkson on Top Gear. Reports she says are nonsense, but still, it's made her not want to go on Twitter anymore.
I worked with Mel and Sue years and years ago, and Mel in particular, I thought they're both absolutely delightful and charming.
I've heard that.
Absolutely delightful and charming people. Whoa.
She's 45, in case you were wondering. Revealed yesterday that she's taken a break from
Does
Twitter.
he not say? Oh, it's the Mail. I'm surprised it doesn't say 45-year-old lesbian Mel.
Well,
Sue.
No, Sue isn't lesbian,
No,
is she?
Sue is the lesbian. Mel isn't the lesbian.
Mel isn't a lesbian, Sue is.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad we've got that clear.
Yeah. Okay, just in case anyone's wondering.
Television presenter, 45, revealed yesterday she's taken a break from Twitter after bullies targeted her on the social media site. One of the messages said she should be burned to death.
No.
Simply because she's one of several people to be linked with the BBC's motoring show. Ridiculous. Why do people turn into playground bullies?
But then saying that, I think she's only had one death threat.
I don't know.
She's only had one death threat. I know, because Anyway,
No, a barrage of death threats. That means more than one, right?
the story that both those stories only quote one though. That's the thing. So I don't know. But anyway, either way, one is too many.
Here she said, Miss Perkins posted to her 576,000 followers.
Blimey.
Guys, post the utterly fabricated story about me in Top Gear. My timeline has been full of blokes wishing me dead.
Oh, okay.
This morning, someone suggested they'd like to see me burned to death, all of which goes to say I'm off Twitter for a bit. Love and peace. Ridiculous.
People are idiots, isn't it? People are idiots.
They start to throw their weight around on Twitter.
Yeah.
I particularly don't trust people who don't use their real name on Twitter. They're usually the worst. And then you find out it's some sort of 14-year-old who doesn't leave his bedroom very much.
We were having a barney with some plum yesterday. Anyway.
Well, you know.
Anything else you got in the papers?
Brings them all out. There's loads. There's the stripy house. Did you see that one?
Oh, I saw this. Yes, go on.
There's a woman who lives in Kensington.
But bear in mind, and I do think this is relevant. Her house is worth £15 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a very pricey area.
Yeah, she wants to build. She wants to go
down.
Swanky basement and put like a gym in there and a swimming pool. She's already got a cinema and that. Anyway, so her neighbours have objected to her plans. So what she's done is to paint a rather swanky townhouse stripy, red and white stripes.
All her neighbours yesterday were on various radio programmes. I think it's absolutely disgusting. But it really is.
What an awful waste of time.
One woman said it might be suitable for Camden, but it's certainly not suitable for here.
Yeah, I heard that woman.
And that story was then followed by one about whether housing association people should be allowed to buy their council properties or not. And you just think, oh, flip it. It's 15 million quid. Your house is worth 15 million quid. She's probably knocked off £1 million, so you're down to 14 million quid. Really? Is that what we're worried about?
That's what's called a luxury problem.
By the way, the housing association story yesterday wasn't the story that housing association people were going to be allowed to buy their properties.
What was it then?
It was that when housing association people move out of their properties, let me know if I've got this wrong, ordinary punters, you and I
can buy it.
It won't be offered to the housing association people. It might be, but we can buy those houses. So that means there'll be less housing association.
But you know what will happen?
Yeah.
Private landlords will buy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's blocked between junction 24 for Potter Spa and 23 for the A1M because of an accident. It's causing 3-mile queues on the approach so far. On the M1 towards London, there's reports that a lane's blocked junction 9 for Redbourne, and on the speed sensors, queues are reaching junction 11 for Dunstable Road now. On the M40 towards London, it's looking very slow just before the High Wycombe Handycross roundabout, and also in Mill Hill on the A1 Watford Way. That's very busy now between the Apex Corner and Mill Hill Circus. But on the train departure boards, there are no problems reported or showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Where have you been bullied or flicked in the ear? I was punched in the ear at the audience of Crackerjack. Oh, and other bits and pieces. Bear with us. We're making it up as we go along.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: police criticised after death of Aylesbury woman. Lib Dems and UKIP launch election manifestos. And wins for MK Dons, Wickham and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. Susan James was found dead when police arrived at her Buckinghamshire home 6 hours after her initial call. More from Danny Bailey.
The 44-year-old woman was found dead at her home in Aylesbury by officers on the 13th of September 2014. She dialed 999 at midnight, but due to a shortage of staff, a lack of training and other incidents taking priority, a police unit did not attend her address until 5:40 the following morning. The Independent Police Complaints Commission investigated the incident and concluded that staffing and training of control room operators at Thames Valley Police was inadequate. The force says more staff have now been recruited and extra training will take place as a result.
The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. UKIP leader Nigel Farage will say that establishment parties have repeatedly let down voters as he sets out measures on Europe, health and defence. Lib Dem leader Nick Clegg will focus on education, as Chris Mason explains.
They say they will offer an extra £2.5 billion of funding for 2 to 19-year-olds by 2020, more than is offered by Labour, £2 billion more than Labour, and £5 billion more than the Conservatives. The twist is that what they are promising is dependent on economic growth to bring in additional tax revenue so that that tax revenue can be spent in schools. And if there was some sort of economic downturn, then questions would be asked about whether the figures can add up.
The Royal College of Nursing says the lack of qualified community nurses in the east of England is scandalous. A BBC investigation in the east has found more than 900 full-time nurses have been lost across the region since 2010. A 24-year-old man who failed to receive a vital injection at birth at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital has won over £7 million damages from the NHS at the High Court. The man, who has not been named for legal reasons, was left disabled after the hospital failed to tell his mother of the importance of vitamin K. In sport, Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for rivals Preston. Wickham remain on course for promotion after a stoppage time win over Exeter.
In comes Paul Haig's right-footed. It's there! Wickham Wanderers 2, Exeter City 1. Paul Hayes has given Wickham the lead here, and surely the 3 points in the battle for promotion.
Stevenage looks set for a playoff place after a 1-0 win over Portsmouth, and Luton remain in playoff contention after a goalless draw at Dagenham despite playing over half the game with 10 men. The weather: another warm and sunny day, maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Police response times, nurses, and the usual Tom Dickory. I once got bullied and indeed slightly beaten up while I was sat in the audience of Crackerjack. Don't laugh, it's horrible. I was 9, I was in tears, I had tears stinging my eyes. What's the weirdest place you've been bullied or had your ear punched? 08459 455 555. Is there any band worse than Nickelback? Celebrate the magic of Percy Sledge. Oh, and there's a great story. Remind me to this story about mobility scooters. Remind me. 08459 455 555. You can text as well. 81333. Start your text 3CR if you wouldn't mind.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Otherwise it goes to the wrong BBC radio station. Now, Thames Valley Police must learn lessons after an Aylesbury woman was found hanged 6 years after she called 999. Susan James made the call around midnight in September last year, but due to other cases taking priority, police didn't make it to her house until just before 6 a.m. An investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission said that staffing and training of control room operators was inadequate. Well, Sophie Khan is a solicitor advocate at Sophie Khan & Co. And, well, it turns out when we mentioned you on Twitter yesterday, Sophie, a very controversial guest as well.
Well, it's been that way for several years now, Ian, so you're just getting in the back end of it.
Yes, and thank you. Now, what do you make of this story, Sophie?
Well, it's a typical pattern. Something seriously goes wrong. The IPCC investigate because it's their duty to investigate any Article 2 and 3 breaches on behalf of the state, and then they come back and say nothing has gone wrong. And then so there is a pattern now that something has seriously gone wrong. The body that needs to investigate and find findings and then put certain things in place doesn't do it. So then we have this vicious cycle of the same thing happening again in a different location.
The IPCC, they're not looking for anyone to be fired or reprimanded, but they are saying that Thames Valley Police need to look at their call handling procedure.
I think it should be more than that. They should be providing them guidelines. They should be providing them with information as to how they are able to comply with their policing duties when something goes wrong. But that doesn't happen. The IPCC investigates. I don't know what the standard of the individuals doing the investigation. I don't know if they're senior or junior or what background they have. But I think there's something seriously wrong in what the IPCC do and the level of their investigations, because I don't think they're complying with the Article 2 and 3 obligations that are on them, because that's what they need to do.
In this specific case, the person who took the call, it wasn't a police officer. It was someone answering the phone. I don't know what level of training they have. They just made, unfortunately, the wrong decision, didn't they? They graded it as urgent, not as immediate.
But again, there has to be supervision by the police. The police force have to provide adequate systems, and those systems have to be supervised, so that it's not a decision that, if it's taken by someone junior, that's it, the junior person took it and we're not responsible. They are responsible because the decision is being taken by someone on their behalf.
I mean, this is a rare incident. More times than not, the person taking the call has to make a snap judgment, don't they? And more often than not, they get that right, don't they?
I mean, all I know is when it goes wrong, when it goes seriously wrong, and then there is an investigation following on from that, and then the individuals may seek to bring the police to account through the civil claims. That's where that's what I see. And in those situations, there are serious issues as to why X, Y, and Z wasn't done when it could have easily been done. But I don't think it's snap decisions. You make a decision, and then you have to review it. You have to be supervised. If on this occasion there weren't two call handlers in the station at the same time or at the position at the same time, then already there is a breach of the procedure.
It's been stated, without going, I don't want to go into too much detail because there are kids listening and people having their breakfast, but the woman in question, Susan James, she killed herself. Had this been graded as immediate, it's unlikely that police getting there much quicker would have saved her life.
That is always a risk, that even if someone calls or someone calls on someone's behalf, that the police cannot get there before the incident happens. But as a police force, they must try and all efforts have to be taken when there is an immediate risk to someone's life. And that wasn't done in this occasion. It took them nearly 6 hours, which is wrong.
Who do you blame then, Sophie? Do you blame the person that took the call? Do you blame the PCC? The coppers that... Well, it's not the coppers that finally got theirs fault, is it?
No, I think it's the system. And the system itself, the chief constable of that force, is liable for any kind of actions or inactions of their officers. So there needs to be a look at what is the chief constable doing.
But there's no inaction of the officers did what they were told. They were told to go to this place at this time, and they did.
Yes, I know, but the chief constable is responsible for running the police force. That's his role. Has he done his role properly or not? So that needs to be looked at.
Staffing levels and training have been criticised in this.
Well, the staffing levels have been an issue for a while, but that still does not mean that the chief constable or the force itself cannot be held liable for the actions of their officers.
They haven't got any money, though, have they, Sophie? They've got no money, and there are more and more cuts. And we talk about this a lot on here. How all the police forces are getting huge financial cuts. It can't be their fault, can it? If someone phones up as they are committing suicide, and it was a very how do I say this without sounding crass? I can't really. It was a very short death, a very quick death. They can't be criticised for not getting there earlier, can they, and stopping it?
No, the criticism is their inaction to respond to a call which should have been immediate. That's the criticism. The criticism isn't that they couldn't stop what was happening to this lady, because that could have happened within seconds. It could have happened within minutes, and obviously it's too quick for them to turn up. But it's what it was. They turned up too late, and there was no chance at all to try to prevent it. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Sophie, do you ever feel that you are trading on people's misery by chasing the police for when it's perceived they've made mistakes?
No, my role very much is to highlight the issues, bring them to their attention, and then move on to something else. But what's happening?
And make money out of it.
Well, I get costs from any kind of action against the police. But what's happening is, even though when you do that, there is no change in the system. The same cases I saw 6 years ago, I'm seeing again today. So there's something very wrong. A stop and search that happened 5 years ago to a black boy, in London. Same thing is happening again in Leeds. Same type of issues. So there's no learning taking place at all. Although they're making claims, they're having criticisms, there's no learning. So what has to happen? You have to then go back to basics and look at the training. And that's why I tried to do with the College of Policing. Obviously, that has caused a lot of problems for people, because I don't know why they don't want to change and become better police officers, but that's another story, I think.
Sophie, listen, we're going to move on. I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Sophie Khan, Solicitor Advocate. That's Sophie Khan & Co.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Texas.
Yay! Texas. Oh, the Texas.
It's the sound of the police.
Phil says the horse is called Thursday. It was.
An email has just popped up on my screen from John Devine. It's titled, "Is she?" There's a photo. I click on the photo. It's a road sign. The road sign says, any ideas? Bet's close. Is she?
Really?
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Bet's close.
Send it to me.
OK, mate, yeah, I'll forward it. I've got nothing better to do at the moment.
Thank you. Just press forward and then type in my email address.
OK, mate, yeah, because I'm not busy doing a radio show or nothing.
Kelly with a Y.
All right, mate. Yes!
E-double-T-S.
Catherine, any more texters?
Yeah. You weren't really interested in the texts, were you? You were just seeing if I had them open.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct. Yeah,
okay.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
Pam in Sundon Park. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
How high is a Chinaman?
What?
How high is a Chinaman?
Who flung dung?
No, answer, that's his name. So the answer is yes, he is.
No, that's not. How high is not. Listen, this is. I've just done it with Who Flung Down, of course, cream of some young.
No, stop it.
No, but you can't just saying short, one-syllable words does not make up a Chinese man's name.
Although, remember what that girl was called in my halls of residence when I was a student?
What was she called?
Lickmen. Which is terrible, isn't it?
Now that was her actual name, not her nickname.
Lickmen.
And did she?
No, she was very demure.
They're the worst.
She used to get some awful messages on her pinboard.
Today's show, dear listener.
Her parents sent her to England to get a fine education, and all she got was abuse.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're celebrating the magic of Lickmen.
She was so beautiful and tiny.
Give us one more, go on.
Phil is telling us about a large police operation in Houghton Regis yesterday.
Morning, Phil.
20 officers involved and the 2 new off-road bikes.
Hey! Hey! I wonder how many people they nicked and how many bikes have got crushed.
We can ask Bedfordshire Police. They'll tell us tomorrow or maybe the day after.
They'll send us a statement.
No, they'll come on, I'm sure.
Well, guys, listen, let's be honest. Some of the coppers don't like coming on because, I asked them questions that aren't on the script. That's why some of the MPs don't come on after the election. But
if that's the case,
yeah.
Big up to Bedfordshire Police.
Big up Bedfordshire Police. Let's see what the audience make of it. Loving it. Loving your work, Beds Police. 81333. Start your text 3CR. Let's have some travs.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's still looking really busy on the M1 southbound from Junction 11 for Dunstable Road to 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road, but it has been reopened at Junction 9 where there was reported to be a lane closed for an accident. On the A5 southbound approaching Junction 9 for Redbourne, it's looking very busy towards the M1 from Lynch Hill, and on the M25 anti-clockwise, there's a lane closed because of an accident between a car and a lorry between Junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for the A1M, but queues are now reaching Junction 25 for Enfield. On the M40 towards London, it's slow approaching the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout, and on the A1 southbound towards the Black Cat roundabout, it's starting to look quite slow on the speed sensors from the St Neots junction. On the train departure board, so there are no reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 7:16. It's Wednesday, the 15th of April. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. And in football, there were wins last night for MK Dons, Wycombe and Stevenage, and a draw for Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I've basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do, you and your team.
Got to stop that, because there is something in that, and there's something about that trail that's really annoyed me.
Go on.
And that trail's been going for a while. It's really annoyed me, and I couldn't work out what it was. Why that was making me irritable. Because I like Jonathan. I love the Consumer Hour. It's genuinely one of my favourite bits of radio in the week. Genuinely one of the highlights for me on the radio. But that trail was getting right on my wick.
Was it the boom, boom, boom?
No. It's not. No, it's not. Nothing to do with the production values at all. Right, have a listen. Have a listen. Okay, go.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
Beautiful. Set it up.
Perfectly for 2.5, 3 years till 2 days ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
I've basically lost the whole lot in administration charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan.
Oh.
You go on, Catherine. Tell the boys and girls.
£578, please.
I received a cheque back for £578. Oh, you make me want to.
But then again,
he shouldn't help people like that.
If you weigh yourself, do you say I am 9 stone 12 or 9 stones 12?
It's different. Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Well, it should be stones.
No.
You're going to start getting sniffy about it.
It's in Actually, I do it in kilograms.
No, you don't.
No, but it's... all right. All right, listen, this is the thing. I think Jonathan's bar is set way too low. All right? It's not a limbo. You're not having a limb-off. It's raise your standards, Jonathan, of the people. Raise the standards of the people that you help. They should all be made to answer, I don't know, a 50-question thing and write a little essay about themselves. Because people like that, I've got about £460. Who gives a stuff about that?
So we shouldn't be helping people who...
the poorly educated, no, we shouldn't.
Okay.
I miss the days. Remember when he had a boat? Jonathan had a boat on there, and the boat was like £750,000. Do you remember that consumer problem?
Yes.
I miss people like that. Class. Just raises the game. Fella came on, he had a boat that was £750,000, and there was like a dent on it, and the bloke who'd made it wouldn't fix it. Jonathan, I miss that. Not about £460. I got £460. Oh, I got 20 knicker. Here, Jonathan, I got ripped off at the sweet shop for tuppence. Could you sort it out for me, mate? It shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. I went down and I bought a packet of Rolos and the bloke never gave me my penny change. Can you sort it out for us, JVS?
But it really is an excellent programme, and yes, JVS could sort it out, regardless of how common you are.
And he would sort it out. And I'm saying he shouldn't. He shouldn't. Right, JVS, yeah, I went down to Lidl's, right, and I bought a packet of plasters, and I didn't get me 5 pence back. They're Thomas the Tank Engine plasters, right, because I like Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't like cuts. I didn't get me 5 pence change back. They're not all Thomas, there's one of Percy in there. What's that about?
I like Percy.
I know you do, Catherine. We'll talk about that later on.
Percy's my favourite, actually.
Yeah, I know you love Percy. You can't get enough Percy. Percy this, Percy that.
Percy's the best engine. Fact.
Yeah, when I wave Percy all over the place.
I like him. You know, they're going about Thomas this, Thomas that. Percy's where it's at. He's got chubby cheeks.
So all I'm saying, we'll play the trail to its conclusion, but just bear in mind, I don't like that man.
Sometimes in life, things don't always go to plan.
It worked perfectly for 2.5, 3 years.
I like him. I'd help
2
him.
days
Yes.
ago.
He should refund me £1,900.
Which is where we come in.
We managed to get them to agree to come back in to the property on an agreed date.
The JVS show takes on your consumer problems.
But I've basically lost the whole lot.
I wouldn't help this bloke.
Charges.
And helps to get to the right solution.
I've received a cheque back for £578.
Jonathan, I can't thank you enough. I don't know how you do what you do.
I'd help her. She sounds sweet.
The JVS show, weekdays from 9, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll type up a little checklist I think he should work through, and I'll send it to
A
him.
little checklist.
Well, I've got all afternoon free. I type up a checklist. He likes stuff like that. I'll send him a little checklist of just where I think he's going wrong.
Okay. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he will. Now, it seems the grand plan for the future of healthcare, regardless of whoever's running the show, is that more of us are going to be looked after at home. The trouble is, well, there may not be enough community nurses to make it happen. A BBC East investigation has uncovered, and we think these statistics are correct, a 72% reduction in the number of district nurses, which means people are being kept in hospital longer because there's no way to monitor them once they leave. Well, Karen Webb is Regional Director for the Eastern Region of the Royal College of Nursing. Karen, how serious is the lack of community nurses in the region?
Well, it's terribly serious that the number of qualified district nurses has reduced to such a terrible level. There are community nurses around the region, but those community nurses are not qualified district nurses, and there is a very big difference between the two. The chronic underfunding of training to prepare qualified district nurses in this region.
OK, so why has there been a reduction in the number of district nurses? It can't just be down to lack of funding to train them, can it?
Yes, it is. It's directly down to a lack of funding to train them, because the trusts are supposed to pay for the training of their staff. So Health Education England has a huge budget of money to provide for training, but it's up to the providers, the trusts out there, to bid for training. So what they've done is they've concentrated on training other groups of staff and not qualified nurses in the community.
And this will get worse, won't it? Because the report has said that many of the district nurses are over 55. So, you know, the greatest respect, they can't keep knocking on forever, can they? They're going to retire.
No, that's absolutely right. And what the Royal College of Nursing are saying is that we really need to get a grip of the need for qualified district nurses, because our hospitals are bulging at the seams. All winter you've been talking about the crisis in A&E and the ambulances not able to get people in. Well, there's no point sorting out the front door of a hospital if you've not sorted out the community nursing service to receive people back into their own homes. Not everybody can live or would want to live their life in a hospital.
What needs to be done to address the problem then?
Well, we need to have a whole system approach to this. This is not about an individual hospital or an individual community trust. This is about the chief executive of the NHS making it very clear to all of the NHS what he wants to happen. So at the moment we have this fragmented service where all the little bits of it all decide their own game, if you like.
But hey, listen.
And the problem is the NHS.
Karen, whoever gets in, they're all going to pump more money into the NHS, we've been told this week. So that's got to be good, isn't it?
Well, what the Royal College of Nursing are saying is that we don't want to get involved in politics around which party's better. What we're saying is any politician who comes into power, the Royal College of Nursing will be holding them to account for the decisions they make.
Good for you. Karen, nice to talk to you. Thank you very much for your thoughts this morning. Karen Webb, Regional Director for the Eastern Region at the Royal College of Nursing.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I saw you chuckling there, Catherine. We'll have no laughter on this watch, but I am curious. What were you laughing at?
Greetings from the Ukraine.
Hey, Ukraine! Ukraine?
I think it's just Ukraine now, not the Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. Thanks to Putin. It's another thing he took.
Where else used to be there? Where else used to be there?
Places that start with
the Czech Republic.
Yep. The United States of America.
The United Kingdom.
The China. There's a great story about China. Have you seen this? It's not a great story. There's a rubbish story about China. Have you seen this?
No, go on.
Oh, the flipping heck. Baby does something silly.
Oh, no. Shall I read the Ukraine?
Yeah, go on.
Shall I read Ukraine email?
Yes.
Greetings from Ukraine. I'm here visiting...
Andy Crane.
Oh, no, but I did used to like him.
Why?
Yeah, I did.
No,
yeah,
terrible.
No, he grew on me. I didn't like Andy... No, I didn't like Simon Parkin.
You were going to say Andy Peters, then you realised you'd sound racist.
No, Simon Parkin was the one I didn't like.
Who was the one that was always getting covered in gunk?
All of them.
No, but there was one where
privately or on air?
Privately, I think that was Toby Anstis. On air, there was that fella, and he was always hosting
Peter Simon. He was always falling over.
Oh, falling over again! Where is Peter Simon? I think Peter Simon's actually in hospital because of the brain injuries he sustained due to falling over.
I think he works on Bid Up TV now.
Oi! Is he falling over as he's trying to sell?
All the time!
Showing his ring.
He should be called Get Up TV.
Yay! Anyway, go on.
Greetings from Ukraine.
Yes.
I'm here visiting my girlfriend, and because we're 2 hours ahead, I get to listen to you guys at a nice time in the morning before she comes over. Oh, my goodness, we're kind of like the foreplay.
We're
getting him in the mood.
We're a little bit sexy for the ladies.
Nothing really to add to your discussion so far yet today. I can't think of anywhere unusual I've been bullied. Well, a bit in Ukraine via the medium of email just now. But I know you like hearing that people are listening from foreign countries, even if I'm only a visitor. Joke for you.
Oh.
He's got us a joke.
I mean, do we want to?
Where do
you... A railway station.
Yeah. Stuart from Ukraine. Woburn Sands normally, which is not Ukraine.
I need to sort out...
What was the joke?
A railway station.
What was the joke, though?
Where'd you weigh whale?
I need to sort my clips out, I really do.
You really do.
I'm trying to find a clip that if I played it at the right time would just be... Oh, let me go back to the first one. Hang on a second. Hang on. Why? No, it's not that. Hang on a second. Oh, this is it. Say we're the foreplay.
It looks like we're the foreplay.
I don't want people making love while I'm talking.
There we go.
Oh, they can't, can they?
Airing cupboard. Oh, I'll do this first.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's been an accident on the M25 anti-clockwise. There's a lane closed between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for the A1M, which is causing delays from junction 25 for Enfield. On the M1 southbound, they're accused because of an accident at junction 9 for Redbourne earlier that was reported, and there are still delays from junction 11 for Dunstable Road. And it's also looking really slow on the approach to the M1 on the A5 southbound from Markgate towards junction 9 for Redbourne. On the A1 southbound, that's looking quite slow from the St Neots junction towards the Black Cat roundabout. And looking at the speed sensors, the A355 Amersham Road's looking quite slow southbound towards Beaconsfield. On the train departure boards, though, there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today, and the Royal College of Nursing says the lack of qualified community nurses in the east of England is scandalous, following a BBC East investigation.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A dramatic night of league football. Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place in League One after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for second place Preston. Lewis Baker, Will Grigg and Dele Alli scored second-half goals for Carl Robinson's side.
We believe in ourselves immensely, but so do Preston, so do Swindon. They all believe in themselves as well. There's going to be an awful lot of nerves going on now. 12 points to fight for, 3 in it. Out of the 4 games they've got to play, 3 are on the road, 1's at home, and that's to Swindon. So, a lot of football. And we know how hard every single game's going to be. Yeah, we're excited by it.
In League Two, Wickham remain on course for automatic promotion after a stoppage-time penalty from Paul Hayes gave them a 2-1 win over Exeter. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
What a nerve from the captain, and what a penalty. On chances, I think we deserved it. On possession, maybe not. They had a lot of possession. They got a lot of good crosses in at some good players and some good football. And we played the 3 up front, the risky formation, as I've said we're going to do. We had the good chances, the better chances, and well, what a way to do it on a Tuesday night. Thank goodness that jinx is gone.
Stevenage looks set to claim a playoff place after an early goal from Tom Pett gave Graham Westley's side a 1-0 win over Portsmouth.
I thought our lads with the lead were dogged, were resilient, were determined. We scored the goal from a set play that won the game, and we managed to grind the 3 points out. So over the 90 minutes, I think that lads deserve credit for a lot of determination and a very positive attitude to the game.
And Luton are 3 points away from the playoff places with 3 games to play after a goalless draw at Dagenham, but John Still's side played over half the game with 10 men after Paul Benson was sent off.
I think he reacted too quick myself. I think he done it all too quick. I don't think that he took any time to do it. But he sent him off, nothing we can do about it. Honestly, I've given up on decisions this year. I really have. I think we've sent off 9 penalties to the referee secretary, and 8 of them have come back as penalties. Now, that's too many.
Tonight, Watford go to Nottingham Forest in the Championship. There's full commentary in Three Counties Sport from 7. The Hornets are 4th after wins last night for fellow automatic promotion hopefuls Bournemouth, Norwich and Middlesbrough. And the West Indies will resume later on 155 for 4 on day 3 of the first test in Antigua. That's in reply to England's 399. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Put that ruddy thing away.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Woman!
Beautiful.
Making you laugh there.
Yeah.
I'm changing the lyrics to be a little bit naughty, a little bit rude.
I think we can all guess what you
A
said.
little bit raunchy. We'll be having a Percy package later on from Justin Daly's delivering Percy.
Oh, that Percy. I thought you were talking about Percy the Green Engine.
The Gambia.
Oh,
says one of our correspondents on Twitter, who I can't be bothered to find.
The Congo?
Yeah. Home of Ambongo, of course.
What they drink.
The French? So this is the story about... 08459 455 555. By the way, this isn't a story, right? It's on page 3 of the Sun.
Lick men? Lick men?
Not too often these days, no. Prince's China trip confusion. Basically, kid does stupid thing because kids are stupid. Mm-hmm. They don't know things. Airing cupboard. George searches for wills in cabinet.
Oh, it's a baby as well. It's a proper baby.
It's Prince George?
Yeah.
Toddler Prince George. Why is this even...
Oh, he's cute, though.
Toddler Prince George looked in a cupboard for his dad when Mum Kate said Wills was in China.
Oh, you know why?
He's the future King of England. He's an idiot.
He knows where the China's kept, though.
Yeah, exactly. He knows where the... Mummy, where's the China, Mummy? William was visiting the Far East when George, nearly 21 months, asked where he was. Travel agent Claudia Gordon said Kate told her that after her answer, George went to the China cabinet, opened it and proclaimed, "Daddy's not here, Mummy. Where's Daddy? I don't see Daddy now." She added, Kate said they would work on his geography. And then they got a picture of a China cabinet, and then they got a picture of China. That's not a story. What is that? Kid does dumb thing. Kids are dumb, guys. Call me now with the dumb things your kids have done. Don't.
But how often do they refer to the china with George? I mean, it's obviously a big part of his life. It's his first point of reference.
My boy was looking at a grape the other day. It was hilarious. Just looking at it. Great. You got anything in the papes, Catherine?
I asked my 3-year-old daughter, why she did something the other day. She told me.
Oh, yeah.
I had an idea and my brain said, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know who that reminds me of?
Dad pop.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, I mean, it came from my brain. My boy came in yesterday. I went to bed at 5:30 yesterday. 5:30. What's the earliest you've gone to bed? 08459 455 555.
Straight after the show sometime.
5:30, and I got to... My boy came in about 6. They'd been out. They came about 6 and they got in bed with me for a bit, and then they went. Then I fell asleep. Then they woke me up at 7:30 asking for paper, and then I fell asleep again. But my eldest came in... Oh, bless him. They are idiots, aren't they? With a plastic bag over his shoulders. What's that, son? Oh, it's my parachute.
Of course it is.
He's just walking around with a parachute and then jumping off things.
I love it. I love the fact.
I find it a little bit annoying, actually.
My 3-year-old walked around
annoying.
Milton Keynes yesterday wearing like bear ears for no apparent reason, just wearing them.
And the police called you up and said, come and collect your daughter, please.
No, she's just doing it.
They're annoying.
That parachute's a great idea.
It don't work. I pushed him off the stairs and he fell.
Oh dear.
Bumped his head.
Wow.
You got to get that sorted before you go up in the plane.
What?
Well, the parachute.
You don't wear parachute. Okay, here's a question. Why don't they give parachutes to everybody in first class? Why don't they do that? I
don't know.
Surely they should do that.
Right to Branson.
You pay first class. You could be paying £5,000 a seat, right, or a bed. You get free manicure. Well, there's an option:
there
a
are
manicure,
aren't there?
a foot massage, a head massage, and there's another one. I can't think what the fourth one is. I always go... I've only flown first class a few times and I've never paid for it. It's always been on someone else's dollar, not the BBC. It's been a commercial company. And I always go for the manicure. Because not many people... Everyone goes for the head massage, right? Everyone goes for the head massage. So she gets bored of doing the head. You go for the manicure, you're more likely to get seen. But they should give you a parachute. What? You're paying extra... You're obviously more important than the cattle at the back.
But they need to give you the training as well.
No. Oh, come on. I'd take my chances. What's the training? You jump, you pull.
Okay.
That's my Friday night.
Wow.
At my Pointer Sisters nightclub. Do they sing Jump?
Yeah.
But every other Friday, it's Van Halen.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Any stories, please?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Golfer was bitten by a crocodile hiding in a water hazard. I mean, you're not joking, a water hazard.
Flippin' heck.
As
Bitten.
he retrieved his ball.
Oi!
No, his actual ball.
Oi.
John Laheath, 75. Gosh, I mean, he's got to 75 and then this happens when he's supposed to be enjoying himself. He was attacked at the 11th hole of the course in Queensland, Australia after hitting a bad shot. A 4-foot-long croc that was lurking in the waterway.
Not a giant plastic shoe! The Netherlands and the Philippines. Thank you, Carpet Martin.
A 4-foot-long croc that was lurking in the waterway.
And not a giant plastic shoe! Just to hear the sound of laughter.
Oh, those ugly shoes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing some wicked gags.
Can I just say, it's all right to wear those if you are a mortician or a butcher.
Or a child.
No, I
the
think
boys like those.
I think they're horrible.
The boys like those, and you can put little clips on them. They've got pictures of Minnie Mouse on.
To decorate, I mean, it's polishing.
Well, okay. Here's the phone-in. Because none of the others have gone so far. This one's the winner. What clothing can you legitimately decorate? Crocs, denim jackets,
jeans
in the 70s. No other
duffel bags.
Sorry?
Duffel bags.
Well, it's not clothing, mate. We're not talking
accessory.
Okay, accessories. Well, then accessories makes the water very, very muddy.
Come on then.
There's no other clothes. There's
caps. Is that an accessory? Is that a hat?
Cap is a hat, mate. Obviously, because it's on your head. There's no other bits of clothing that you can decorate apart from those ones.
So is that the phone-in done then?
Yeah, t-shirt.
Tie-dye t-shirt. Yeah, okay, fine. Well, maybe people can think of other things. Have you ever tie-dyed your pants? 08459 455 555.
Don't forget my phone in for another day.
We'll do that another day, Kelly.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Anyway, this crocodile.
Yeah.
Bit him on his right calf, leaving puncture wounds.
What was he doing with baby cows in a golf course? I am literally full of it today.
Mr. Laheath, who was recovering in hospital. This guy's still in hospital, guys.
Hey.
after the attack on Monday, said he'd seen crocodiles on the Palmer Sea Reef Golf Course before and said, I should have been more wary. I didn't see this croc sunbaking.
Yeah, they bake in the sun. Everyone knows that.
On the edge of the water. It's partly my fault for disturbing it. A flaming Yahoo. Big galah.
Now, listen, the front page of The Sun has opened up a whole can of horny worms.
Oh.
They're the worst kind of worms, because they get in the way of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie Langford is split from her husband. Now, Bonnie Langford. Oh, Bonnie Langford. Oh, Bonnie Langford.
No, I love Bonnie Langford.
Oh, Bonnie Langford. No. I've been in the same room as Bonnie Langford. Can I just say, and I'd always thought Bonnie Langford was a bit of a joke, and I found her irritating and annoying. I have been in the same room as Bonnie Langford. I may even have shared... No, I don't think I could have shared a lift with her, because I would have exploded. She exudes... She is working on, like, the 6th dimension. She is transmitting the most intense sexual frequencies of any woman I've ever met. And I've met Jo Guest. She is just pumping out sexual vibes like you wouldn't, but men were falling at her feet. And the only other woman I've met that's done that, actually, Lulu.
Lovely Lulu.
I sat at Lulu's feet while she was telling me boring stories about the old days, and I sat there looking up at her, all moon-faced. But Bonnie Langford, honestly, you've got to meet her to believe. It's incredible, the vibration she's sending out.
You don't want to cross the streams of the Langford with the Novelli, because that man came in, Jean-Christophe Novelli came into work once, and I went all funny.
Yeah.
And it was from the womb down.
Wowzers.
I honestly, I couldn't speak. I've never met anyone who made me go...
A womb with a pew.
I mean, it just...
Means he's got a seat in it.
It made... I'm going to use a term now. That's
No, don't say what I think you're going to say.
What?
Hang on a minute. Tell me what you're going to say. Okay, you can. Okay, you're not going to say that. Good.
Made my ovaries bounce.
Hey. So okay, let's. People you've met that you. This is the phone in. We've got it now. People you've met that have made your people you've met that you'd have thought nothing of them, but when you've met them, you just gone.
No, I saw him on TV and I thought, the French accent, the slightly, dodgy, sort of greased back hair, all that stuff. Oh my goodness, what a man!
Bonnie Langford.
Jonathan Edwards.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Is he the jumper?
Yes. Couldn't speak for days.
He must be like 3 times the height of you.
Yeah.
Is that part of the thing?
No.
Okay, why you got headphones on the back of your head?
She's thinking about Jonathan Edwards.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Hey, this is no surprise.
Oh, Prince William as well.
Oh, go on.
Made me go a bit funny.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, he's really dashing. Like, proper dashing.
I'm trying to think this...
It was a few years ago before he started to go very, very thin on top. And he was wearing a uniform.
Oh, Keris Matthews, maybe. But that's just something. I eat the sun every day, says a thick woman. Smearing jam over a ball of toilet paper and chucking another into her tea bag. Pregnant Teresa Johnson enjoys her unusual breakfast. While some mums-to-be crave unusual food combination, Teresa needs to consume toilet rolls, newspaper and sponges. The former cleaner, 26, thought she was going balmy when she first found loo roll delicious and hid her hankerings from friends. But she finally visited a doctor and was diagnosed with pica.
Yes.
Pikachu. Bless you. Oh no, I can't say that.
I wanted my friend to call their baby Pikachu, but they wouldn't listen to me.
An illness which makes sufferers desire non-food substances and can be triggered by pregnancy. Teresa now happily munches 8 toilet rolls a week and eats a copy of The Sun every single blooming day.
At least she won't have to wipe.
She's clean as a whistle.
This is the thing that models do.
I know.
It's
very bad for them as well.
Oh, I was so shocked when I found this. Someone told me this, and I had to go and research it. But it's true. They douse toilet tissue in orange juice, and they swallow it. They get the taste of the orange juice, and it expands their stomach, so they're not hungry. Isn't that nuts?
But essentially, you're making your own papier-mâché, which is not good for your system.
Hey, papier-mâché. Why do we call it paper mache?
Mashed paper.
And collage. I mean, what's that all about, really?
Sticking. That's what collage means.
French art is rubbish. Hey, speaking of French art, so we went into a place the other day, Catherine and I. What is that place where they sell second-hand furniture? in Luton. We went into a second-hand furniture place.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a place in Luton, they sell second-hand furniture.
They've done it up so it looks quite like a furniture shop.
It's a great shop. It's like Red Cross.
Yeah, the one we walked past.
So we went in there because I saw they had some records right in the corner.
But they have it like a furniture shop, but they have an unusual display. Like once they had a phone that looked like a lobster. Do you remember?
Yeah. And boy, oh boy, it smells of fags in there. Oh. So we went in there, and there's two women working there. Right, and Catherine and I are looking at records, and we weren't going to buy anything. Always, it's a big shop. It's a cavernous shop. I always feel weird walking out of charity shops without buying something. And then I noticed they had a copy, guys. I'm not stupid.
You're assuming it's a copy
of the Mona Lisa, right? And I went to the women really loud. Flippin' heck! You've got the Mona Lisa. That's worth a fortune. Huh? I knew tough crowd. I thought I'm going to stick with this. Repeated it. Repetez-vous. Flippin' heck! Look! There! You've got the Mona Lisa! That's going to get you a fortune, that is! What did the first woman say?
Nothing.
Nothing? Second woman went, what did he say? Then she had to explain it! And I'm thinking, right, this has died a death, but I couldn't let it go. So as we were walking out the shop, I went, yeah! The Mona Lisa! You get a fortune for that, ladies! Good luck! Have a good day!
Why do we call her the Mona Lisa and everyone else calls her La Gioconde?
They call her La Gioconda.
Anaconda?
They call her the Gioconda, mate. Not La Gioconde.
Well, in French they call her
the
La
French
Gioconde.
are idiots, we've established that.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are hour-long delays on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 23 for the A1M to junction 26 Waltham Abbey because of an accident between a car and a lorry which has closed a lane. On the M40 towards London it's very slow from junction 4 for High Wycombe Handicross roundabout, and on the M1 southbound it's very busy at junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 9 for Redbourne, that helped by the accident earlier on. In Luton on Vauxhall Way that's looking busy now between Hitchin Road and Crawley Green Road, and at the Black Cat roundabout on the A1 southbound it's looking very busy from the St Neots junction. On the train departure boards though there are no major delays showing up there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Samantha. 7:46, let's get the headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Thames Valley Police have been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats... I'd gone deaf in one ear, my headphones weren't working, that's why I said Democrat. That's not in any way a political comment, we are completely neutral here at the BBC. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election. I'll shut up, shall I?
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, well, it's warm and sunny for today. We're looking at temperatures reaching up to 24 degrees, 75 in Fahrenheit, so very warm for the time of year. Just a scattering of cloud developing later in the afternoon across Beds at first, spreading across Herts by the evening and overnight. Most areas remaining dry, just a very slight risk of an isolated shower perhaps. Temperatures dipping to 6 degrees, 43 in Fahrenheit, and then for tomorrow cloudier and feeling much fresher. There will be some bright spells, but the winds coming in from the east and temperatures dipping, reaching around 15 Celsius, 59 in Fahrenheit. That's a dip of a good 10 degrees for some of us. And for the weekend, Friday and the weekend, staying similar, fresher with those winds, some lengthy spells of sunshine, but temperatures back to around average. And that's your forecast.
Thank you, Corsa.
Friday, June the 5th is the first ever BBC Music Day, aiming to bring people together across the UK through their love of music. As part of the day, we're searching for local unsung heroes. Do you know someone who's giving a big musical contribution to their community? From supporting young musicians to leading a choir, anyone who's making a lasting difference in your area through music could be one of the 5 heroes chosen to receive a VIP invite to a major BBC music event. Nominations for the BBC Music Day Local Unsung Heroes close on April the 24th. To find out more, search online for BBC Music Day.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Jeremy Kyle's got a new show starting, Justin.
Has he?
Yeah.
Go on, what's he doing?
Jeremy Kyle is to front a new daytime show offering, Will Payne from TV Biz, he's written this in biased language. Basically, it's called Jeremy Kyle's Emergency Room.
Oh, no.
It's been described as a cross between his daily ITV show and Channel 4's Embarrassing Bodies.
Well,
I'm in. I am in. It sounds... I do think Jeremy Kyle is, and I'm going to say this, I think he's evil. And I used to love the Jeremy Kyle show. I used to love it. And then I met him, right? He's a weird bloke. He's got a really weird... He just stares at you. I've never seen anyone stare so intently. He's staring into your soul. And the more I think about it, the more I think that Jeremy Kyle and that television programme is what is wrong with this country.
No, the man's a legend.
No. It's all about shaming people.
We are exploiting the vulnerable. You know why those people go on it? They get put up in a hotel for a night and they get free meal. They see it as a holiday. Oh, no, genuinely. They say, we'll put you up in a hotel, and they see it as a holiday. They get driven they get chauffeur driven.
Where do they film it?
I think it's Manchester.
Right.
But can I just say that, boss? I think that's a small price. So somebody pays for a hotel room and they pay for a meal. You go on national television
and get humiliated.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a small price to pay.
I think it's terrible. Hey, Justin, I've tweeted a picture of you and your dad today.
I've just seen that. Thank you very much.
How my dad, Rod Stewart, taught me to pull women. If you follow at Iain Lee, you can see Justin dealing with his old man.
Yeah. Morning, Dad.
Justin. Sad news.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Oh.
Good news. I'm going to let you finish the show today.
OK, thank you. Rarity in the BBC, to be fair.
No, I know. I'm a good guy.
I appreciate that.
Percy.
Yeah.
Tell us about Percy.
Percy Sledge.
That's the fella.
The absolute soul legend has sadly passed away at the age of 74. I think you want me to go on the streets a bit later on and get people to sing "When a Man Loves a Woman."
Yeah,
Is this correct?
Why the hell not, Justin?
Yes,
Let's do something celebratory today, and let's stop being cynical.
Are we going to get them to sing it, or are we going to get them to tell us to finish the sentence?
Whatever you guys want. What would you prefer?
She boss.
Yeah.
But we're going to be celebratory today, and I don't want any of these VFs. I want it to be a beautiful. You know what I want? I want a beautiful package, Justin, that would be fitted. That if we were invited to do so, if I don't know, Motown phoned us up and said, "Look, guys, we're at Percy's funeral. We're 2.5 minutes short.
Yeah.
Have you got anything you could play? We could play the Voxes that you're going to record later on today, Justin, and it would do his family proud.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, it is, mate. Imagine Percy's listening.
Yeah. Well, of course, I met Percy a few years ago.
Yeah.
An incredible moment. So what I've done, I've put together a little montage here. This is my tribute to the legend that is Mr. Percy Sledge. When a Man Loves a Woman, a classic and Margaret Thatcher's favourite song of all time. It made #1 in the US and #4 here back in 1966. Well, 19 years later, it made the top 5 again, after featuring in a Levi Jeans advert. Incredibly, despite writing the song, he naively signed away the rights to Calvin Lewis and Andrew Wright, so he didn't receive a single penny in royalties. But he made some other brilliant songs, including Take Time to Know Her, It Tears Me Up, and this.
Let me wrap you in my warm and tender love.
Warm and Tender Love. Well, Mark Lyman was Percy's manager.
He's probably the most humble person that I've ever met. Always a big smile, a great voice, always listening to his fans and talking to everyone he could. Whenever they came to him, he never turned anybody away.
The disco queen Candy Staton was a very close friend of Percy's.
He was the best. He was always kind. He was always obliging. He would always say things that lifted you up. Regardless of what he was feeling, he always had a good word to say about you. I really am so sorry to hear about his death.
And I had the pleasure of meeting the great man a few years back. We spoke tunes, and sitting opposite me on a crisp leather sofa, I chanced my arm and I asked him to sing for me, which he did.
When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He'll change the world for the good thing he's found. If she is bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. Turn his back on his best friend if he put her down.
Still to this day, one of my career highlights. What a legend. Percy Sledge, who has died at the age of 74 following liver cancer.
Cheering? No, I just realised the cheering sounds really inappropriate. The cheering's not. We're not cheering the loss, of course, Justin.
We're celebrating that man's fantastic career, and when a man loves a woman, how many parties have you been to? And that's come on. It is one of the best songs of all time. He wrote that song, but incredibly, as I said there, he gave away the rights to that song. It would have made him a millionaire, but he gave them away.
Ladies and gentlemen, what have you given away that you'd wish you kept? I know one thing I'd given away that I wish I'd kept.
Warm and Tender Love.
Yep. Wish I'd kept that. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, boss.
Speak to you later on.
Take care.
Ta-ta. What you got in the papers, Catherine?
A dog.
Hey, go on.
Bulldog Winston's hatred of junk mail has sent postmen running for cover.
Yeah.
After the Seven Stone Pets attacks, the Royal Mail...
Time out. Hold it. Rewind. Why am I being the nice, sensible one today?
I don't know.
You know that the comedy of the postman and the dog is actually a really serious threat, and lots of postmen get seriously injured by this.
Yeah, these aren't my words; they're the words of the Daily Mail.
Okay, but you could temper the tone, just be a bit more respectful for those postmen that we've lost in service.
You know what we need to do? Hit
What?
Coldplay.
I can't hit Coldplay because I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. That's the chair. How did you do that? Oh, it's there. Go on. No, because you're being disrespectful to the postman.
You said I needed to be more serious.
Go on
This is
then.
how you be more serious.
Go.
Bulldog Winston's hatred of junk mail has sent postmen running for cover. After the Seven Stone Pets attacks, the Royal Mail declared the streets around him a no-go zone, though his owner says he's just playful. And now 2-year-old Winston is being evicted. Civil action by the Housing Association means owner Hayley Sandford, 30, must find a new home for him by April 30th. The court ruling will come as a blessing to residents of 60 homes in Blackburn who've had to make a 4-mile round trip to collect post for the past 14 months.
Hey.
Miss Sandford said, Winston did jump up at the postman, but he's a very bouncy, playful little thing and he forgets how big he is.
Warm and Tender Love.
There we go, indeed. That's what they're showing.
Sad story.
Front page of the Daily Mail. Why do so many women celebrities have giant feet?
Do they?
This is why you've never made it in showbiz, Kelly. You've got tiny feet. Why do so many women celebrities have giant feet? We turn to pages 22 and 23 to find out exactly why so many women celebrities have giant feet.
Why are we turning the page? Why?
March of the Bigfoot celebs. Why do so many famous women have such monster feet? It's not big feet now. They've grown to monster feet. Kate Winslet, size 9.
What?
Jerry Hall, size 10.5.
That's the size of my leg.
Elle Macpherson, size 10. Katie Holmes, size 9.5. Scarlett Johansson, size 9.5. Sandra Bullock, size 9.5. Paltrow. OK, let's play. What size are Paltrow's feet?
11.
Catherine? Oh, you're looking at it.
9.
Well, you can't look at it. Jolie. Now, Jolie, I would have thought would have had massive feet.
8.5.
9.
Oh.
Thurman. Now, Thurman, as we all know, has got man's hands.
Yes. I reckon she's 10.
9. 9's not that big.
What, are they
Blanchett.
all 9?
9. But hang on, Blanchett's got size 9 feet. She's only 5'7". She look like a clown.
Anyway.
Jolie's only 5'6.5". I've kissed her.
Well, actually.
And she said she thought I was funny.
Looking.
She said she thought you smelt funny.
No, she said I think you're really funny. I went, yeah, you know.
She think you're Richard Bacon?
Yeah, she did.
Funny guy.
Gwynny's only 5'7", Gwynny. Sandra Bullock's only 5'6". Hey, Scarlett Johansson's got size 9.5 feet. How tall is she?
5'6".
5'3". 5'3".
Tiny.
Isn't that tiny?
I like that.
Isn't that
I'm
tiny?
so glad the Mail have devoted 2 pages to this.
Well, it answers why do so many women celebrities have giant feet?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 M25 anti-clockwise. There are hour-long delays from junction 26 Waltham Abbey to junction 23 for the A1M. It's because of a lane closed by an accident between a car and a lorry. On the M1 southbound, it's very slow from junction 12 for Flitwick to junction 9 for Redbourne, and it's also busy on the M40 towards London between junction 5 for Stokenchurch and 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. It's also busy in High Wycombe on the A40 London Road and both directions in and out of High Wycombe. And in Aylesbury, the Buckingham Road's looking very slow between the Western Link Road and Elmhurst Road. There's still no problems though showing up on the train departure boards. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: police criticised after death of Aylesbury woman, Lib Dems and UKIP to launch election manifestos, and wins for MK Dons, Wycombe and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. Susan James was found dead when police arrived at her Buckinghamshire home 6 hours after her initial call. More from Danny Bailey.
The 44-year-old woman was found dead at her home in Aylesbury by officers on the 13th of September 2014. She dialed 999 at midnight, but due to a shortage of staff, a lack of training and other incidents taking priority, a police unit did not attend her address until 5:40 the following morning. The Independent Police Complaints Commission investigated the incident and concluded that staffing and training of control room operators at Thames Valley Police was inadequate. The force says more staff have now been recruited and extra training will take place as a result.
The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. The Lib Dems have said they will spend more on education than the other major parties, with Nick Clegg promising an extra £2.5 billion of schools funding by 2020. UKIP leader Nigel Farage will say that establishment parties have repeatedly let down voters as he sets out measures on Europe, health and defence. The Royal College of Nursing says the lack of qualified community nurses in the east of England is scandalous. A BBC East investigation has found more than 900 full-time nurses have been lost across the region since 2010. NHS England says the training of nurses is currently being reviewed, but Karen Webb from the Royal College of Nursing says that's not enough.
Health Education England has a huge budget of money to provide for training, but it's up to the providers, the trusts out there, to bid for training. So what they've done is they've concentrated on training other groups of staff and not qualified nurses.
A 24-year-old man who failed to receive a vital injection at birth at the Luton and Dunstable Hospital has won over £7 million damages from the NHS at the High Court. The man, who has not been named for legal reasons, was left disabled after the hospital failed to tell his mother of the importance of vitamin K. 4 people have been arrested at Manchester Airport on suspicion of terrorism offences. Greater Manchester Police say the arrests were part of the investigation, which began when 9 members of the same family were stopped by the Turkish authorities on the Syrian border. In sport, Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for rivals Preston. Wycombe remain on course for promotion after a stoppage time win over Exeter.
In comes Paul Haig's right-footed. It's there! Wycombe Wanderers 2, Exeter City 1. Paul Hayes has given Wycombe the lead here, and surely the 3 points in the battle for promotion.
Stevenage looks set for a playoff place after a 1-0 win over Portsmouth. Luton remain in playoff contention after a goalless draw at Dagenham, despite playing over half the game with 10 men. The weather: another warm and sunny day, maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning team, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. What a busy morning we've had. Where have you been inappropriately bullied? I got beaten up. I had my ear punched while I was sat in the audience of Crackerjack. Well, the bits and pieces we have, Catherine. We find out so many, I forgot to write them on the whiteboard.
People that made you go funny.
Oh, yes, Bonnie Langford exudes the sexual frequency that I can't even begin to describe. It's interdimensional. It's incredible. You go in the room with Bonnie Langford and you're a gentleman and, you come out an hour later and you don't remember a single thing of it. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We got any Texas?
Yeah,
Let's
Tony.
have some Texas and then we'll crack on with this.
Tony says J-Dog made me go, ooh.
Oh.
When I bumped into him in the street, I couldn't get my words out. I went all idiot.
Yeah.
Another guy I met made me feel the same, Iain Lee. I met him at Luton train station.
I've never been to Luton train station.
I stood there like a nutter for 10 minutes just to shake his hand. Iain, can I stroke your hair? Are you and J-Dog brothers? Tony, who is easily pleased.
Tony, I've never been to Luton train station, and there's a gentleman that goes there occasionally and impersonates me, and I'm sorry to say that.
Oh, train station Iain.
Yeah, train station Iain. That's. I would never use a train, for goodness sakes. I've James to drive me around. The pop group.
Maff in Hanslope says, can you please keep talking about Madonna as I'm off to the bookies to put £10 on her passing away in the next 10 days due to the breakfast show curse.
Oh! The breakfast show curse, yes. Its magic could be working again.
It's powerful. Hello, Iain. I take a 9.5 shoe, but us big-footed ladies get our money's worth because ladies who take size 3 pay the same price as us, says Paula.
More leather for your buck.
Also, you probably get better shoes in the sale. Because all the ones of, regular size feet go, don't they?
Normal people,
yeah. I used to work in a shoe shop and I used to envy the ones who had either tiny feet or massive ones. Just a little insight into my life.
That was a really good story, mate. Thank you. You finished? Yes, I think so.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watchdogs have criticised Thames Valley Police for the time it took to respond to a call from a woman who was eventually found dead. Susan James dialed 999 but didn't speak. 6 hours later, officers went to her home in Aylesbury where it seems she'd taken her own life. Well, an investigation by the Independent Police Complaints Commission said that staffing and training of control room operators was inadequate. Joined now by Peter Nehrude, who is the former Chief Constable of Thames Valley Police. Morning, Peter. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I think it was the most telling piece in the report is the quote from the sergeant who was on that night, who sent a memo to his senior managers at 5 a.m, saying the staffing was so short that I thought the wheel would probably come off, and of course it did. It's just the simple mechanics of that night as you read the report through. A kidnap incident, a vulnerable missing person and a sudden death, all happening within a short space of time.
Oh, it was a busy night for the police, yeah.
It was a busy night, and with only one radio operator in the control room, and probably, by the look of it, only 3 units out on the ground, the maths just didn't add up.
The radio operator did... It could be said that the radio operator, or the person taking the call, made a mistake by grading this as urgent and not immediate. Is that just one of those judgment calls that was wrong? Is that down to bad training? What do you think the problem is there, Peter?
I think the investigation report very fairly concluded that it was a perfectly reasonable judgment to make, given the 30-second snatch of the call that the operator could listen to. So, and given the scale of busyness that was going on around them, 30 seconds is quite a long time when you've got all that going on the radio.
Where, if anywhere, Peter, do you think improvements need to be made?
Well, the thing this particular incident puts into sharp relief is the impact of taking another 400 officers and staff out of Thames Valley Police over the next 4 years. Because if that night, if on that night you'd taken out another 3 officers, which is my working out of the equivalent of what would be happening at that moment in Aylesbury, not only would you not have coped with trying to get to the incident that you didn't get to, but you certainly would have struggled to cope with the other 3.
How do you suggest they meet the savings then that all police forces are having to meet?
Well, I think even the Conservative Police and Crime Commissioner is admitting that the next phase of cuts can only be met by taking out bodies, because a lot of them, and I know this very well, I know the budget very well. there comes a point where, there just aren't savings you can make from the back office, because you have to have an infrastructure and a back office to run a force of the scale of Thames Valley. So therefore, you're having to pluck bodies off the front line, and at that point, these gaps will start getting worse.
Are you suggesting, Peter, that with more cuts and which will inevitably mean less officers, that lives could be put in danger?
Well, I would recommend anyone to read this report through and then take the 400 officers out. That is the clear implication of this report. Once you start getting down to the kind of levels of resources here, you will not be able to resource some calls. And, if that call happens to be someone who's, as in this case, at significant risk, or indeed it could have been a domestic violence incident, then you are definitely going to be having to compromise public safety.
Peter, it's a depressing thought, but it's always good to talk to you. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Neywood, a former Chief Constable of Thames Valley Police.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, 08459 455 555. The Daily Mail. Hey, if you're feeling a bit down, guys, don't worry. The Daily Mail has the secret of happiness. Oh, I've just opened the page. It's clean sheets. It is nice.
It is nice, but it's nice for until you wake up the next morning, then they're dirty. My pillow is a disgrace.
Yeah.
I really need to change that.
What do you do to it?
Well, it would seem I'm not taking my makeup off thoroughly.
Oh, your face is on there in the morning?
Yeah. I can see where my eyes were.
I'm going to do clean sheets today. I need to buy a new duvet cover. My duvet cover got ripped to pieces.
Oh, really?
Toenails.
Oh.
We often hear it is actually the simplest things in life that are the best. Sorry?
Sorry, I just...
What are you doing?
Toenails.
What about them? I've got
cut
toenails.
them, they're like talons.
I peel them. I pick them. What was that for? Mm-hmm. I've got a nice little collection on my bedside table at the moment. You don't cut them. Where's the pleasure in that? The pleasure is you get yourself into some kind of yogic position and you... Oh, you can bite yours, look. Mm-hmm. And you get them the right length, you peel them up. Very, very satisfying. Here we go. Is there anything more satisfying than... what would you say? What would you call that?
What, peeling your nails off?
Yeah, but that's not the phrase. Picking isn't the right now. Anyway, what would you call it? What's the descriptive term? The
dirty
verb?
Habits, call me now. 08459 455
No. What's the verb for cutting your toenails but not cutting them, you're using your fingers?
Manual pedicures.
Is there anything more satisfying than getting a big nail? You've got to take a while because the nail on the big toe that's like bone almost. And thank you, Kelly. And once you get that, you get purchase on that, and you're away. Beautiful. Is there anything more satisfying than doing that? Be careful. If you get too big a chunk, it pulls off into the flesh. We often hear it's actually the simplest things in life that are best. And it seems to be true, with sleeping in bed, which is a bed which is freshly made, coming top in a list of things that make us feel great. Really? Oh, that's a bit loud, wasn't it? Almost 2/3 of the people asked said that the feeling of fresh sheets was one of their favourite feel-good moments. It is nice. Second up was feeling the sun on your face. Oh, get real, guys. What is this, 1967, man? While third place went to people... saying thank you. Oh, for crying out loud. The survey, the top 50 also contained... Who was asked? 12-year-old girls and unicorns. The top 50 also contained rainbows. Flippin' 8 rainbows. Oh, I love rainbows. Makes me so happy. How can a prism make you happy? How can the breakdown of light into its base elements make you happy? I mean, really?
Nice colours, though, isn't it?
No.
Nice, yeah.
No.
I like it when you get a double one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bubble wrap and dancing like no one is watching. I can dig that one. Meanwhile, this is you, Catherine. 11% of people enjoy having new stationery.
Oh, yes, I do.
While, and I like this one, 1 in 10 are made happy by the pop of opening a new jam jar. Of course, the greatest of all of those things, breaking the seal of the coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking the seal of the coffee.
Get a life.
Sorry?
What?
What's yours? Smoking a doobie?
Yeah.
Dropping a few tabs while
Yes.
watching Orbital live in concert?
Yeah, all of those.
This is a joke. Don't try this at home, kids. The
Don't
BBC.
ever watch the Orbital live in concert. They are as dull as a hedge.
Are they the Orbital or just Orbital?
I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of the Ukraine.
I'm thinking of the Benelux countries. I've just worked out what Benelux means. I worked out this morning. Is it Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Had you not known that until I just said it?
I'm not.
You hadn't, had you?
I don't think about Benelux.
You don't see the. I tell you what, you don't see the word Benelux anymore. Not since the demise of It's a Knockout. And I'd not even thought of the word Benelux until last night when I was watching Stardust, starring David Essex, filmed in the 70s.
Yes.
And you see the back of a truck and it says Benelux. And I thought, I've not seen the word Benelux for ages. And then it got me thinking, I don't know what Benelux is. Then on the way in, 4:42, I know the time exactly, 4:42 on Wednesday, the 15th of April, I worked out that Benelux is Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg. And boy, oh boy, was I happy.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 anti-clockwise, there are hour-long delays from junction 26 Waltham Abbey to 23 for the A1M because of an accident, and that's involving a car and a lorry, so it's causing it to be really slow. On the M1 southbound, it's busy between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 9 for Redbourne. That's after an accident much earlier on this morning. And the M40 towards London's busy between junction 5 for Stokenchurch and 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. It's busy in High Wycombe as well, though, on the A40 London Road in both directions. And the A1 southbound at Boreham Wood has queues between the Holiday Inn and the Stirling Corner. Looking at the train departure boards, though, there are no major delays showing up there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:16. It's Wednesday, the 15th of May. Today is the day I worked out at 4:41 a.m. what Benelux means. I think. Have I got that right? But then you've got the Netherlands. Is the Netherlands a country?
Holland.
See, that's not a country then. So how could you put countries? How could you make up a shortened word for various countries when one of the words is actually a shortened word for loads of countries? There's another one well.
There probably is.
Yeah, okay. Thames Valley Police has been criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. She was later found dead at her Aylesbury home. The Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos today. And in football, there were wins last night for MK Dons, Wycombe and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Look at you. Someone's been in the garden.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Darker skin, lighter hair.
Yeah.
JVS has been in the garden.
Yes.
Darker skin, light. Didn't your hair go blonde?
Is it? My hair does go blonde.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Sun-kissed. You've been sun-kissed.
Thanks. That's why I can never... Because you're always so miserable.
Cheeks have been sunburnt.
You're so miserable about good weather.
Hate it.
I know, and I can't understand why. There's nothing lovelier than being out in the garden. I did some gardening yesterday. I cut my grass. I planted my seeds for my vegetables.
Oh, flippin' heck. I went to bed at 5:30. I did. Brilliant.
You?
It was brilliant.
In that lovely evening?
Yep. Shut the curtains.
My dad came over. We went for a pint at the pub. Then I did him bangers and mash. Sat in the garden.
The bangers and mash sounds nice. The rest of it sounds awful. I don't like...
The rest of it sounds awful. Your life sounds awful.
As I drive it in the mornings now, it's getting light.
Beautiful.
I know what to do when it's cold. I put on more layers. There are only so many layers I can take off when it's hot.
Right.
You're wearing a jumper and a T-shirt.
Just get a fan.
Flippin' heck. You and your electrical gadgets to change your body temperature. It's either a fan or a heater. That's what you tends to be. What you go. You're never happy.
So today on this beautiful day.
Yes.
You won't be out enjoying it?
No, why would I? It'd be horrible.
What will you be doing?
Probably going to stay indoors and read.
Inside?
Yeah, do some work on the computer, listen
Iain,
to some records.
Go lie in the garden.
Oh, mate, no, I hate the garden. Also, if I make use of the garden, then I have to do some of the work in the garden. And I don't like gardening. I hate mowing the lawn. My least favourite thing in the world is mowing the lawn. And do you know what? I'm never going to mow a lawn again as long as I live. I'm never going to do it.
What kind of mower have you got?
It's an orange one.
Fly mow.
I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, okay.
You want to get yourself a nice petrol cylinder mower that gives a beautiful line, and then when you look out of your window, does your kitchen face the back garden or the living room?
The living room does.
So when you sit in your living room, look out in the garden, and you've got your lovely stripy lawn, you'll think, oh, that's beautiful.
I'll draw the curtains because the sun shines on the TV and I can't watch films.
Oh, God.
What's in your show this morning?
Coming up on this morning's Big Phone In from 9, do you have any sympathy with Thames Valley Police for not attending Susan's 999 call? I know it's the story you've been talking about this morning. Very interesting it is too. Police watchdogs have criticised Thames Valley Police for the time it took to respond to a call from a woman who was eventually found dead. Susan James dialed 999 but didn't speak. 6 hours later, officers went to her home in Aylesbury, where it appears she'd taken her own life. The call handler categorised the 30-second call, which was almost silent, as urgent but not immediate, as there was no history of emergency calls from the house. Well, we now know officers were dispatched before 6 hours, but their vehicle was diverted to an emergency elsewhere on what was a very busy night.
Yeah, we just heard.
Well, from 9 this morning, I'd like your reaction to this story. Do you have any sympathy with Thames Valley Police for not attending Susan's 999 call? I'd like your reaction to this on 08459 455 555.
Roberto Perrone on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tip-top etiquette expert William Hanson, who is not a fan of politicians oversharing.
Good afternoon, Roberto. I feel slightly nauseous after that music.
Every weekday from 3.
Let's talk to Harriet Harman, the leader of the Labour Party.
We've been in Bedford and Cambridge, and we've had very interesting discussions.
Let's talk cold callers. Do you have a tried and tested method of getting rid of cold callers?
You've got to make up a word before you go on the phone, and so you can fit that word in without them realising the most time.
Saying actually helps you feel calmer. Did you believe this, Sharon?
Definitely. And since I read that, I've been doing it and I'm well chilled.
Roberto Perrone, weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Kiri.
Morning.
That was the chair. I need to get this chair WD-40 because it's getting noisier and noisier. What have you got for us this morning, Kiri?
Well, you know that Justin was on just before doing that montage.
Yeah, sorry, are you in the same room as your telephone?
I am, but I need to look at my phone to see the words that I'm going to read to you.
Whoa, have you written a poem?
A song.
You've written a song?
Yeah, for Justin.
Hey, go on then. All right, well, do it nice and loud. Why have you written a song for Justin?
Because you know that When a Man Loves a Woman was on just now?
Yeah.
Well, I decided that there was a song I should write, because I think Justin's lovely, about Justin, and I can't sing, so I'll try my best.
Have you ever met Justin?
I've driven past him and just, ogled at him. And
You've done what at him?
Drooled, I suppose.
Oh, really? Oh, no, Kiri, really?
He's gorgeous.
Why? Tell us what's so gorgeous about Justin Dealey.
He's just good-looking, sexy. Everything about him's lovely.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what then. Let's. What's the song called? It's so sexy. Such a 70s. Oh, it's so sexy. I was drooling at him. What's the song called, Kiri?
When a Woman Loves Justin.
Oh dear, we got a guest lined up for a very serious story, and she's thinking, oh my God, what am I getting involved with it? When a Woman Loves Justin by Kiri. All right, Kiri, let's hear it nice and loud so we can hear you, please.
Okay. When a woman loves Justin, they can't concentrate. He is such a sexy guy. You can hear him every day on the radio, then life becomes perfect. And Justin, you're the best. There you go.
And life becomes perfect. And Justin, you're the best.
Yeah.
It's just obvious, really, about Justin.
Are you married, Kiri? Do you have a partner?
I am, but he's not listening, so if Justin's free, that's it, I'm on my way.
Justin, are you free?
Well, I'm taken, but I have to say I very much appreciate that song. Lovely words. Thank you so much. That means the world to me.
Oh, I've got to ask you to do this, Kiri. Can you
What?
sing it to Justin, please?
But now, hang on then, one second, let me get the words back on.
You'll sing it. I'm going. Catherine, Kelly and I, we're not listening. Everybody at home has switched off. It doesn't work on phones. Has switched off their radio. This is just you, Kiri, and Justin Dealey. Away you go.
Okay, Justin, this is just for you only.
Thank you.
When a woman loves Justin, they can't concentrate. He is such a sexy guy. You can hear him every day on the radio. Then life becomes perfect. And Justin, you're the best.
I love that line about life becomes perfect. Wow.
It does. See, just so you know, when you stand outside the studio and there's this woman that drives really slowly past, it's always me, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologise for that. Just keep on looking. Thank you very much.
Next time I'll open the door and maybe you'll jump in.
Maybe not, but keep looking. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiri, you weirdo. Bye-bye.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, goodness knows what our next guest thinks listening to that nonsense. The lack of district nurses in our region has been described as scandalous by the Royal College of Nursing. More than 1,800 community nurses have been lost over the past 4 years, meaning more and more people are ending up in hospital, often taking up beds when it's not necessary. Actually, that figure of 1,800 is incorrect, isn't it? Is it, Catherine, is that the figure that was corrected earlier on?
Yeah, 900.
900, thank you. More than 900 community nurses have been lost over the past 4 years, meaning more and more people are ending up in hospital, often taking up beds when it's not necessary for them to be there. But how realistic is it for people to be looked after at home with the help of a local district nurse? Colette McKeveney, regular on the show, Director of Age Concern Luton. Morning, Colette.
Morning, Ian.
You're not going to burst into song, are you?
No, I don't know how I follow that one.
No, nor do I. I think it's best if we just ignore it.
I won't try.
Why do you think there is a lack of community nurses?
I mean, I think there's lots of different reasons here. For a start, we've got lots of competing priorities for NHS cash. And obviously we've got training priorities for staff who are employed to look after people. And we've got a rate of change that's really, really fast, with people leaving the profession and new people not coming in at the same rate. So it's a big picture problem.
It is, and you talk about funding, because this is kind of going to, has been suggested, will be a key thing for a long, long time, keeping people out of hospitals, out of GPs even, and looking after people at home and allowing people to stay at home.
Yeah.
So one would have thought that this would have been a priority for funding.
You're right. I mean, in a way, it's kind of obvious that if you've got a really big plan, you need to think it through really carefully and think, what resources am I going to need to make that plan happen? And if we're saying as a society we've got a really big plan about not having people in care, but looking after them in their own homes with the right people, the right qualified people, able to help take good care of people with complicated and, really difficult health problems, then we need a really good workforce to be able to do that.
And ultimately, if you're keeping people out of hospital, you're saving money. It's an investment, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's also the right thing to do, isn't it? I mean, I think it's, the saving money argument, you need to sit down and look at all the books and that, and I'm never so sure that some of these arguments make sense when you start to strip them down. But here's the reality. If we're saying as a society optimum care is delivered in your own home rather than a care home, with the right people around you, then we need to make sure we've got people with those skills, and plenty of them, the right amount of them. It's no good having one that sees you once every 6 weeks. You need them to see you on the frequency you need them to see you. But you can't do that without investing and saying, OK, that's a big priority. We need to put in place the training plans that are going to make sure that in 5 years and 10 years, there are people still able to do that job.
We spoke to a gentleman last week whose dad is a 94-year-old, I think, war hero, who's possibly going to have to move into a care home because there isn't enough funding to look after him at home. Explain to us why it's so important for people to stay at home if they want to.
I mean, I think, again, we're all adults, and we all have an idea that none of us really want to end our lives, if at all possible, in hospital or in a care home. We want to stay at home among our own things with our families nearby and supported in the community. And I think generally most people would agree with that. The reality is that if you've got a lot of health problems, you're going to need a lot of support, and it might be difficult to deliver that with the existing premises that you live in and also the staff that are available to look after you. So this is really it. If we're saying we want this massive change where more people can live at home, then we have to be prepared to invest in community-based staff with the right training, not just today, but into the future, 5, 10, 15 years, because people with disabilities might live for a relatively long period of time.
Colette, always good to talk to you. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much. Colette McKeveney, Director of Age Concern Luton.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There is still serious hour-long delays on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 26 Waltham Abbey to 23 for the A1M because of an accident. And anti-clockwise on the M25, there are queues between junctions 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40 as well. In Kings Langley, it's also really busy on the A41 southbound at the M25 junction 20. And in Cheshunt on the A10 southbound, that's very busy between the New River Trading Estate and the M25. It's also looking slow in Stevenage on Broadhall Way in both directions at Gunwell's Wood Road near the football ground, and in Luton on Vauxhall Way that's very busy between Hitchin Road and Crawley Green Road. There's no reports of any problems on the trains at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Life becomes perfect. A line written about Justin Dealey.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Thames Valley Police say control room operators will receive extra training after the force was criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. An inquest will take place today into the death of Luton Estate agent Mark Davey, who died in a crash on the A6 in Bedfordshire last September. And the Liberal Democrats and UKIP launched their election manifestos this morning.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A dramatic night of league football. Milton Keynes Dons are just 3 points away from an automatic promotion place in League One after a 3-0 win at Fleetwood, coupled with a draw for second-placed Preston. Lewis Baker, Will Grigg and Dele Alli scored second-half goals for Carl Robinson's side.
We believe in ourselves immensely, but so do Preston, so does Swindon. They all believe in themselves as well. There's only an awful lot of nerves going on now. 12 points to fight for, 3 in it. Out of the 4 games they've got to play, 3 are on the road, 1's at home, and that's to Swindon. So, a lot of football, and we know how hard every single game's going to be. Yeah, we're excited by it.
In League 2, Wickham remain on course for automatic promotion after a stoppage time penalty from Paul Hayes gave them a 2-1 win over Exeter. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
What a nerve from the captain, and what a penalty. On chances, I think we deserved it. On possession, maybe not. They had a lot of possession. They got a lot of good crosses in at some good players and some good football. And we played the 3 up front, the risky formation, as I've said we're going to do. We had the good chances, the better chances, and well, what a way to do it on a Tuesday night. Thank goodness that jinx is gone.
Stevenage looks set to claim a playoff place after an early goal from Tom Pett gave Graham Westley's side a 1-0 win over Portsmouth.
I thought our lads with the lead were dogged, were resilient, were determined. We scored the goal from a set play that won the game, and we managed to grind the 3 points out. So over the 90 minutes, I think the lads deserve credit for a lot of determination and a very positive attitude to the game.
And Luton are 3 points away from the playoff places with 3 games to play after a goalless draw at Dagenham. But John Still's side played over half the game with 10 men after Paul Benson was sent off.
Whatever we do, we've got to win 3 games. So let's go Saturday and try and win 3 games. It's as simple as that. We'll give it everything we've got. The boys have been marvellous. And I'm really proud of them today. So let's give us a little boost. Let's go again and let's have a go at it. I'm looking forward to it. I like Sensei. I'm really looking forward to this. 3 big games. Come, let's have a go.
Tonight, Watford go to Nottingham Forest in the Championship. There's full commentary in Three Counties Sport from 7. The Hornets are 4th after wins last night for fellow automatic promotion hopefuls Bournemouth, Norwich and Middlesbrough. And the West Indies will resume later on 155 for 4 on day 3 of the first test in Antigua. That's in reply to England's 399. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Hang on a minute. That's the wrong thing. Hang on a minute. It's not what I meant at all, was it? No, what I meant was this.
Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Stephen's in Hatfield. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Ian.
Stephen, what you got for us?
Yeah, I was just listening to this, the police not attending to this lady that dialed 999. I'm going back to February.
Well, they did tend to her, but it took a while to get there.
It took a while. I'm going back to February. I was assaulted while I was at work. I was out driving a van. I had all the windows smashed on the van.
Oh.
Glass cuts to my face. I had 4 different people phone 999 on that occasion.
Yeah.
4 witnesses plus myself. 5.5 hours I sat there. The police never attended.
Oh.
We did put a complaint in, and their excuse was it was staffing levels, and because I refused the ambulance, it was downgraded because I didn't need an ambulance. But I mean, this person that had done this was 250 yards parked down the road, and I was absolutely. I mean, and what worries me is if this is the way the police is going to carry on in this country, how serious does it have to be before they decide they're going to attend? And it was the call centre was deciding that we don't need to send someone.
Whose fault is it? Do you think, Stephen?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, when you speak to the police, you do have a bit of sympathy for them because they're saying, look, we just haven't got the staff. This was 10:30 on a Sunday morning. You wouldn't think it'd be that busy emergency-wise at 10:30 on a Sunday morning. But they just haven't got the staff. And I just sat there and I had 4 weeks off work because I was too scared to drive.
Blimey. What happened? What, you cut someone up? Had you done something perceived that he perceived you did something wrong to him on the road?
Well, this is what I'd struggled with. I was driving up, it was a narrowish road. This idiot came towards me, absolutely tanking it. I pulled over and stopped. He went past me with all 4 wheels locked up because he was at high speed.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a thing. I just looked in my mirror and I thought, what an idiot. And carried on. Got to the crossroads. The next thing I know, he's overtook me, jumped out the car, smashed all the windows on the van, jumped back in his car and shot off. And I said to the police, I said, well, you know, if you've stuck your hand out the window and had a go, you've antagonised it. And I struggled with the fact that I hadn't antagonised it. I actually stopped.
Yeah.
And it was just, the police, the guy's been done, everything's been sorted out. But I had to go to the Complaints Commission, and their excuse was, we just haven't got the staff. Well, how serious does it have to be? I mean, I could have been someone with a pacemaker, could have had a heart attack and died. And they just don't, there was just no...
Well, These kind of I could have. I don't quite buy. Why it sounds like a serious incident. I don't buy into these. I could have had a heart attack and died, because if you had a heart attack, then an ambulance would have come and then the police would have come.
That's it. Yeah, no, but it's like it's.
But it does sound pretty terrifying.
It was horrific. It was horrific. I mean, the guy. I mean, all the other complainants have all complained about his driving. So I mean, the guy had no. He's just a lunatic.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just worries me that the police never attended. This guy was down, and I said, "What happened if you guys come back and have another go?" I can't go anywhere. I'm stood here on my own in the middle of nowhere. It was.
Stephen, it sounds horrible. I appreciate you sharing your story with us this morning. Thank you. 08459 455 555.
I've had a text through.
Hey.
An anonymous text.
Oh.
I'm a 999 operator in the 3 counties for another emergency service. I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner. I deal with the police on a daily basis, and their prioritisation of calls leaves a lot to be desired. Many cases of numerous units being sent to incidents of a less serious nature, and sometimes none to a life risk. If I need the police assistance, I would ring my own control room rather than the police, as I know that my call would be dealt with by someone who knew what they were doing, and the correct details would definitely be passed. I have no faith in the police as a member of the public or the emergency services.
Gulp. Any other texts?
Yeah, Helen, Thames Valley Police.
Morning, Helen.
Interesting that no one ever suggests removing any of the deputy assistants, senior administration staff at headquarters, only cutting frontline and control room staff levels, says Helen in Milton Keynes. We've got another one through here from Ev, boasting about being ogled by a woman.
Ogled?
A famous woman. Do you want to hear this one?
Yeah, of course. If you've ever been ogled by a famous woman, boy, I want to hear.
It's quite a long text, so you can have a few guesses as to which woman it is, OK?
Gillian Telforth.
No.
Gillian Anderson.
No, Gillian. I went out...
I'm Ian. Nice to meet you.
I went out one night...
No, Gillian, no! I'm trying to drive!
Stop it. Tummy ache, though. It's a terrible thing.
Yep.
I went out one night clubbing in London.
Yes.
This group of girls were on the other side of the dance floor. One of them was giving me the eye.
Woo!
After 5
Shola Amma.
No. After 5 minutes of exchanging smiles and her doing some sexy dancing... Oh, what that was.
Aye.
The Macarena. With my mate grinning at me,
yeah.
She undid her jacket. Well,
wowzers.
I was like a rabbit in car headlights. There's a clue for you.
Yep.
She undid her jacket, headlamps.
Yes.
I didn't respond.
Sam Fox.
She shrugged her shoulders to her mates and they walked off. It was then that my mate said, "Don't you know who it was?" I said no. It was...
Linda Lusardi.
Almost.
Whittaker.
No. Bit more modern than that. Bit, though.
What's the girl called? Leilani.
No, but so good they named her twice. She's got 2 first names. 2 first names and a surname. Lulu Baps.
I've got no idea.
I'm not aware of her work, but I think I know what it might entail.
I've got no idea.
What does it begin with?
Her first name is Lindsay.
DePaul. Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Dawn Mackenzie.
Oh, you flipping heck, blimey.
I think she might have been having you on, Ev.
Joe Guest, some gentleman of a certain age will know Joe Guest, invited me back to her flat. I didn't go. One of the greatest regrets of my life.
Yeah.
Didn't go.
I've heard that story about 6 times.
It's a good story. OAP 92 floors mugger with mobility scooter. A granny has told how she rammed a would-be mugger with her mobility scooter. Come on, guys, really? Eileen Mason, 92, and her best pal, Margaret Seabrook, 75, were trundling back from a lunch club when the thief struck. He eyed up, or ogled, Margaret's basket on the front of her scooter before grabbing Eileen by the arm. Oh, no, and reaching for her carrier bag.
Oh, you don't do that.
But Eileen was determined they would not be an easy target. She said, "Oh, no, you don't!" really loudly. Something in me told me to turn. So I squeezed the accelerator, turned, and he went flying. He was so evil looking. Next thing, he was on the floor. I thought, my gosh. The pair sped off
at about
4 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say.
As the dazed thief made a quick exit. A defiant Eileen, who has 13 great-grandchildren, said, "I might be old, but I'm still quick. This is written in the old days. We won't let a weasel like that hold us back. Everyone on Facebook has been going crazy." less people are using Facebook because of people like Eileen.
Young people.
Yeah.
Old people still think it's cool. Kids don't, apparently.
Because there's loads of old people going on it, so the kids are now like, oh, flipping heck.
Can I give a tip to would-be muggers?
Yes.
Don't target pensioners coming out of a lunch club, because I went to the ladies' circle once with my grandma on my 21st birthday, and the amount of gin that was supped that afternoon was unbelievable.
And also, old people don't give a stuff.
Got nothing to lose.
They don't care about the law. They don't care. They know that they're in their twilight years, so they're going to go hell for leather. And they are going to ram you, they're going to whack you, they're going to kick you, they're going to tell you off, they're going to tell your mum, they are going to do if they know where you live, they will certainly tell your mum.
And then they're going to speed off at 4 miles per hour.
There was an armed robbery in a shop the other day, right? Did you see that? Fellow balaclava went in, robbed the shop. Woman behind the counter went, Steve, I know it's you. It was his mother-in-law. Steve, I know it's you, stop it. I'm not Steve, I don't know Steve. Steve, I know it's you. Take the balaclava. I'm giving you the money only because you got a gun, but you are in very serious trouble. I don't know Steve.
I knitted you those socks.
I made that balaclava. You said it's to go fishing. 08459 455 555. You can send me a text, 81333, start your text 3CR, or Iain.Lee at bbc.co.uk. We'll speak to Dealey in a bit. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 southbound, there are reports that a car's broken down between junction 15 for Northampton and 14th Milton Keynes, causing some queues. And also further down on the M1 southbound between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and 9 for Redbourne, there's still traffic looking very slow there after an accident much earlier on at junction 9 for Redbourne. On the M25 anti-clockwise, there are long delays from junction 26 for Waltham Abbey towards junction 23 for the A1M after an accident earlier, and the A1 southbound's very busy from the St Neots junction towards the Black Cat roundabout. It's also looking slow in High Wycombe on the A40 London Road in both directions. We're looking at the train departure boards, there are no delays showing up there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:45. Hey, we nearly made it to the end again. It's Wednesday, the 15th of April. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Thames Valley Police says control room operators will receive extra training following the death of an Aylesbury woman who was found 6 hours after her initial call. The Lib Dems and UKIP launched their election manifestos this morning. And in football, there were wins last night for MK Dons, Wycombe and Stevenage, but only a draw for Luton. We'll get Dealey after the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, plenty of warmth in the day today, lots of sunshine and light winds. Just a scattering of cloud developing later in the day across Beds. Temperatures reaching the low 20s. We could reach 24 Celsius, 75 in Fahrenheit. More in the way of clouds spreading from Beds to Herts as we head through the evening and overnight, but most of us remaining dry. Just a very slim chance, perhaps, of the odd isolated shower. Lows of 6 or 7 degrees, 43 in Fahrenheit. And then for tomorrow, much more in the way of cloud, feeling a bit fresher with some easterly winds, staying largely dry but cooler than today with highs of 15 degrees, 59 in Fahrenheit. And that's your forecast.
Thank you, Costa.
The general election on the BBC.
On Thursday, the 16th of April, I'm going to be joined by the party leaders for a live televised election debate. Leaders from Labour, the SNP, Plaid Cymru, UKIP and the Green Party. Our studio audience are going to be asking the questions, and the party leaders will debate their policies and election promises, live on air.
Election 2015 on the BBC, making it clear.
Join me, David Dimbleby, for the BBC Election Debate 2015, tomorrow night at 8, live on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Justin, one thing I forgot to say to you, and I'm really sorry. Can I say it now?
Yeah, go on.
Good morning, sir.
Voices from the Streets. Don't you just love them?
Oh, mate, that's the title of your next album, Voices from the Streets.
Yeah, good title.
Have you recovered from Kiri's romantic... life becomes perfect?
Yeah, I have to say, for those that missed it earlier on, go back on the iPlayer because
it's in the podcast, mate.
Yeah, that was unique.
I've got to say, the podcast this week, it's a JD special. It's pretty much a JD solo show.
Thank you very much.
You're absolutely welcome. It's well deserved.
Thanks, boss.
There's an email here, literally just come in. I've not read this. Hang on a second. It's entitled Kiri Weirdo. That's unfair.
Come on.
That's unfair.
She was fine.
Ian, I was cringing with embarrassment, says James, when I heard Kiri Weirdo's song about Justin.
Is that it?
I used to work with her. And she probably had a similar song about me.
Oh.
Could you play the theme from Magnum P.I. once in a while? Yes, we can do that. We'll dig out the theme from Magnum. Yes, of course. It's a cracking bit of music.
James, you a bit gel that you didn't hear the song?
Yeah, that's...
unlucky, boss.
That's what I was thinking.
The fact that he's saying she probably had a song means that she never sang it to
What does Kiri look like, James? Can you send us a drawing? Because I'm keen to know.
Tasty.
What? What does she look like?
Tasty.
Really?
Tasty.
Okay.
Isn't Kiri the one who came in with the little boys?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think she would have made reference
No,
to
that was Natasha.
Oh, yeah.
Natasha, yeah.
Sorry, Natasha. I was thinking you were Kiri. You're not as weird as that.
I mean, Kiri seems to be somebody who drives around the streets very slowly to take a quick look.
Try and kidnap you.
A curb crawler, if you will.
We'll go to you live one morning and there'll just be dead air. We will rush outside and just see a microphone and half a smoked growler on the floor. And when we won't see you for 12 years because she'll keep you in her basement.
And a tyre mark.
Yeah.
Some skidders,
But still, apparently she's...
Tasty.
There we go, you see. Some skidders, yeah. Well, you'd be very nervous, wouldn't you? Justin,
yes.
What have you taken to the streets?
Couple of things.
Yay.
Percy Sledge, you asked me to get somebody to sing that famous line, when a man loves a woman. Jerry in Markyate has done that for us. But before that, you've also been talking this morning about celebrities that you've met that have made you go a bit funny.
Bonnie Langford, mate, honestly, because you'd see her on the telly, and I always thought she was irritating. She ruined Doctor Who when she became an assistant. Annoying woman. You meet... I mean, she's absolutely charming. But that's only part of it. She is communicating with all men, Justin, on a completely different frequency. As is, who's the Scotch woman?
Lorraine Kelly.
Lorraine
Kelly.
Oh, wow, she is hot, smoking hot.
But it's not even being attractive. There's
an aura.
There's an aura. There is a sexual aura about them.
Michael Palin.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah.
Very charming. There's something about that man.
Justin?
I've taken this one to the streets. Celebrities who have made you go a bit funny, and you are going to love this man who talks about a certain Spice Girl. I've got the Village perspective this morning. I've been in Markyate getting people's stories. Here's what happened. Oh, Mike, what a story this is. For you, you went a bit funny around Ian Jury, but you went funny around him quite often because... you worked with him. Tell us more.
Well, basically, I was roadieing with him, and every time, like, because he's such a controlling artist, like to have everything just so.
Yeah.
He'd lose it a bit, and you'd like think, wow, what a star, and because you had everything on pat, and you know the gig was going to be so good at the end of it.
Yeah.
You thought, wow, I've got to get everything right. You know.
So you as a person, whenever you saw him, you completely changed.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, just in awe of the man. You know what I mean? I was just like, he was just something else.
God, that must have been amazing, though, to be such a fan and to work with him like that. It must have been incredible for you.
Yeah, well, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, but like, it didn't stop me still being in awe of the man. He was just something else. He was just
love that story. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day in the sunshine.
Cheers, thank you.
So you went a bit funny around the baby Spice. What was she like? Come on, man to man. When you were
tasty.
Yeah?
Yeah, tasty.
You lost it. I can understand that. So you're saying out of 10, you'd score a 10 out of 10 in the flesh?
Definitely, yeah. Tasty. Hang on, I've got to go, so I want a bus.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the bus. Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks, sir.
Tasty.
So I'm confused, Justin. Did he think she was tasty or not?
Yes, very tasty.
Baby Spice, I met Baby Spice. Very attractive young lady, actually.
Yeah.
Hasn't got that aura about her.
So she's no Bonnie, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she's no Bonnie. OK, I'll tell you another one.
Go on.
Aguilera. She has got...
Ex-Dina?
Yeah. She is just sending out signals, sending and receiving signals all the time.
I
It must be
wonder whether
exhausting.
it's a child star thing, because they've got to be on all the time.
Well, Lorraine Kelly wasn't a child star, mate, so that's your theory shot to pieces.
Oh.
I mean, that's one of the worst
But
theories.
she was a star in the 80s, so if she's still famous now, she must be ancient.
Can you get your theory? Toss it up in the air for me. Go on, throw it up.
OK, here we go.
There we go.
Oh.
Ooh, harsh.
Yeah, well, it was a terrible theory.
Very harsh. Also this morning, talking about Percy Sledge, who's passed away at the age of 74.
From one Percy to another.
So, we did our tribute package earlier on, and you gave me the mission of finding somebody who had a decent voice, correct?
Well,
you wanted that line.
That was it at all.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so we've got some audio coming up here from the radio car. This is Jerry from Mark Yates, who took on the challenge. Listen to this.
When a man loves a woman.
Woo! Give this lady a round of applause. Come on, can we have it once more?
Yes. When a man loves a woman.
Not so good the second time.
Hi, thank you very much.
He sounded like a girl, that fella, Jerry.
What's a woman?
Jerry.
I can do it. Maybe. What are you putting that face for?
She's laughing at the joke she made.
What joke? Oh, woman.
I'm just laughing at the fact she went up. She went.
Well, the first one was in tune. Second one, well, she was freestyling. Here we go. I'm not going to do it high. I'm going to do it proper. We'll do it, and I'll judge who's the best. It'll be me. When a man loves a woman.
What's a woman?
That wasn't bad, but that was actually good.
That was good.
Kels, let's have yours.
No.
Okay, Catherine.
Okay. I've got to say woman.
Don't just do it properly, mate.
When a man loves a woman.
You flipping idiot. Just go on, you have a go, mate. You show him how it's done, fella. Come on.
As I've met the man.
Yeah, he sang it to you.
Yeah, he sang it to me. So I'm going to take myself back to that moment. Okay. Percy, this one's for you. When a man loves a woman.
Give me that again, because I can't quite believe what I heard. Sing that again.
When a man loves a woman.
No, I did hear that, Justin. Wow, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's the use of a mic, you see. When you're singing, you have to use the
When a man loves a woman.
I don't think I've ever had a woman.
Oh, I'll stop myself there. Justin, see you later.
Thank you, boss. Take care.
Ta-ta. Good work.
I can do mine now if you want.
Go on.
Oh.
Tasty.
There we go. Oh, no, there, hang on. Well, that was great, Kelly. Sorry?
All right.
Other things that make us happy. Oh, yeah, squeezing a spot at number 47.
Yeah.
Squeezing the spot. The thing that makes me really happy, you want to take that up a little bit?
Squeezing someone else's spot.
A woman squeezing a spot on my back that I can't reach because makes the popping noise.
Oh,
and then they show you what they got.
You know you really love someone if you will do that.
36 is wrong. The smell of a new book. No. The smell of an old book.
Mm-hmm.
An old book. Popping bubble wrap. I think that's overrated.
Rolling in bubble wrap, better.
Hey, I found a great making love in bubble wrap.
You pervert.
Recording a bubble wrap and getting it to number 1 in the charts. I've got a great new app on my phone. It's not bubble wrap. You can get bubble wrap. Quiz Up. Oh, I was in bed playing Quiz Up the other day.
What's that?
Quiz Up. It's a quiz. You play it against other people. 60s music. I am the best.
I'll have you on that. Join me.
I am the best.
Join me.
I can beat you. I am the best at 60s music. Quiz Up. Download that. We'll have some of that later.
Oh, by the way.
Yes, boss.
I've had a message from Valerie the American.
Hey.
Are you sure the Daily Mail didn't keep the feet measures in American shoe size? I'm an 81/2. Oh, 8.5 in the States, but 6.5 here. That's what I said, isn't it? You're right.
Sorry? I was just transfixed by Kelly's. That's the loudest typing I've ever heard. But
I'm still spelt wrong.
It was worth it for this. It was worth it for this.
When a man loves a woman.
Woman. So you imagine this, and this is a horrible scenario, but this is how I imagine what just happened there. I've got to sort my keys out. So Justin Dealey is being held hostage. He's tied to a chair. And he says, I'll do anything. I will do anything. Please let me go. They
Is he at his wit's end?
He's at his wit's end. There's a fella holding the door shut. You have got to sing for us. Sing for us, otherwise we will never let you go. I don't want to sing. Sing for us!
When a man loves a woman.
There we go. And that's sad, but that's how we lost Justin. That's how we lost. I've never heard, and I say this with respect, and also because I know he's probably in between outside and going upstairs and hearing us. We're probably free. I've never heard such a frail, weak, breathless, elderly voice.
He really squeezed that song out, didn't
he? It's literally he's on his deathbed there. I mean, blimey, it's incredible. I wonder if Kiri's going to phone up and say, actually, I've gone right off him now. Honestly, it's like hearing an old person calling for help because they're in bed and their glasses are falling off the bed. I've dropped my glasses.
It's like the end of the Titanic. Come back, come back.
Oh dear. Let me pick 3 more. At number 24, things that make us feel great. That Friday feeling. Oh, that's made up. Waking up before your alarm does not make you feel happy. It makes you feel sad
and tired.
Pick a number between 1 and 50 and I'll give you what makes the
23.
Oh no, I'll have this, yeah. This is a nice one to end on. A soothing massage.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are still long delays on the M25 anti-clockwise from junction 26 Waltham Abbey to 24 for Potter's Bar after an accident, and the M1 southbound is busy at junction 10 for Luton Airport. Also southbound on the M1 it's busy from junction 15 for Northampton and 14 for Milton Keynes. That's because of a car that's broken down. Reports that it's very slow past the Newport Pagnell services, and the A1 southbound is looking very slow from the St Neots junction towards the Black Cat roundabout southbound because of just extra traffic there. And in High Wycombe on the A40 London Road, there are queues in both directions. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Samantha, excellent stuff. Thank you as always. That's it. That's your lot. Don't forget, guys, the podcast. I think we've explained well enough over the past few days what the podcast is. Basically, it's a short version of the show, the best bits from the week, with extra bits in there. Go onto the internet and type in Iain Lee BBC podcast. It will pop up. Don't forget, a very sad day today. Of course, today was the day we lost Justin Dealey.
When a man loves a woman.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Wednesday, it's 9 o'clock, and coming up on today's big phone-in, do you have any sympathy with Thames Valley Police for not attending Susan's 999 call? Police watchdogs have criticised Thames Valley Police for the time it took to respond to a call from a woman who was eventually found dead. Susan James dialed the operator. They alerted the police, and 6 hours later, officers went to her home in Aylesbury, where it appears she'd taken her own life. The call handler categorised the 30-second, almost silent call as urgent but not immediate, as there was no history of emergency calls from the house. Well, we now know officers were dispatched before 6 hours, but their vehicle was diverted to an emergency elsewhere on what was a very busy night. Well, after 9, I'll describe what happened that night, and I want to hear from you. Do you have any sympathy with Thames Valley Police for not attending Susan's 999 call? Here's my telephone number. It's 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News. It's 1 minute past 9. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: police make training pledge after death of Aylesbury woman, lorry driver killed in M1 crash, and wins for MK Dons, Wycombe and Stevenage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thames Valley Police say control room operators will receive extra training after the force was criticised for failing to respond to a woman's emergency call on time. Susan James was found dead when police arrived at her Aylesbury home 6 hours after her initial call. The Independent Police Complaints Commission concluded that staffing and training of operators was inadequate. Former Thames Valley Chief Constable Peter Nehru says planned cuts mean more lives could be put at risk.
Once you start getting down to the kind of levels of resources here, you will not be able to resource some calls. And if that call happens to be someone who's, as in this case, a significant risk, or indeed it could have been a domestic violence incident, then you are definitely going